Lock us in, load us in, pop in that 8-track, spin the tape. Here we go. Hey now everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of your favorite motherfucking Star Wars podcast. That's right, it's the Star Wars Time Show. It's Matt, it's Nick, it's Pete the Cat. We're back and we're ready to talk all things Star Wars. And by all things, we literally mean all things. That's going to encompass the fandom. That's going to encompass news. That's going to encompass rumors, speculations. You never know what we're going to talk about. Or you should if you are a Star Wars fan. Because for the most part, on Star Wars Time Show proper, we are trying to cover all of the major revelations, news, awesomeness from the week in Star Wars. So, I mean, that's what we do, right, Nick? I mean, we are here to guide fans through the Star Wars universe. We're here to block them from following the dumb shit, but paying attention to the good shit.
Yeah, there's
right,
a lot of asteroid fields out there that you could just run amok. Like you said in the last cast, Matt, you know, if you put in the wrong Navicomputer coordination, you could end up going through a star. Yeah. So
that fucking asshole.
Who knows where the Colossus is? They could end up in the middle of a sun. But here at the Star Wars Time Show, we keep you on track.
I mean, you're right. That's honestly my favorite part. It was just because of Niku's enthusiasm that they could potentially end up in essentially a black hole.
Yeah, they could be blown to smithereens.
I mean, Han Solo told us in A New Hope the perils of fucking with Navicomputer coordinates, right?
Yeah, very early in the movie, right up front. And he yelled at Luke too.
Right.
You know, like, hey, idiot, don't fucking tell me just to jump. This is not like Dustin Crops, boy. You remember? That's how he said it.
Ain't like Dustin Crops, kid.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I know a few weeks back I kind of poked a few holes in A New Hope, but it is the beginning. It is the origin, and it does have some classic moments. But anyways, people, I mean, if you've been listening to us, and obviously we appreciate you. I mean, I really think we've had another great week in terms of Star Wars Time Show history. I just put out a video today that we are now searchable on iTunes, as in if you just search in iTunes for podcast Star Wars, we now show up within the first SERPs page. We're not at the top. We're not one of the first 2 or 3 rows, but we're not that far down. So honestly, people, that means you're listening to us, you're interacting, you're leaving ratings, reviews, whatever. So you know what you get this week? You get a motherfucking golf clap.
Yeah.
You hear that? You hear that?
Thank you, everybody. I mean,
we love you. We love you for that. That's a big fucking milestone for the Star Wars Time Show after we split from EB. So all we ask is if you are listening and you are enjoying this shit, please pass it on to other people you think that would enjoy it. And if you would take the time to leave a rating or even a review, I mean, rating is plenty. In the end, that's what we need. We need ratings on iTunes or the other platforms that offer ratings or reviews. Either or works. Ratings are preferred. Reviews are fantastic. Either way, we just want to thank you people for getting us well beyond our goal earlier than we expected. So thank you. So as we like to thank our fans, Nick, what do? We do our fandom segment, which is, we talk about topics that other fans are probably going to be enjoyed in. But more importantly, and honestly, a segment that's become my favorite of the Star Wars Time Show proper is our IG Top 5 of the week.
Our IG is probably the best social platform that we have going right now, mostly because you're the curator and keeper of it. I have to say, like, your knowledge of Instagram, the toy community, and just the general Star Wars community on Instagram as a whole has really made our Instagram an awesome thing to follow. Just because,
I do work, buddy. I do work. This is the first thing I do when I wake up is scroll the feeds, mark accounts to share, and let them loose.
Oh yeah, I mean, so our Instagram feed is not only just, the content that we put out on StarWarsTime.net. It's also shots that Matt finds. Eventually, Matt's gonna start sharing his own shots on there every now and then. He'll throw up a Haywood.
It's never gonna happen. I do share them on our Twitter account though, Nick.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been watching that, but a lot of my Luke Skywalker shots I've been doing this week, I will throw them up on Star Wars Time Show Twitter. With a via at Matt R. Haywood to give myself credit because I am a weirdo.
Yeah. So the Star Wars Time Show Instagram channel is definitely worth a follow. You can keep up with
as
news,
Nick brought up,
everything.
As Nick brought up, and I think he made a very key point. We are not just we're going to take other people's art and share it so we get followers account. We are putting out our own stuff. Okay,
yes.
So there is a slight difference. Yes, we do. I understand that by us sharing other artists' work that it's helping us. 100% I get that. But we're not just a feature account, because if you're in the toy photography community, you understand there are a lot of feature accounts. There's some major accounts that we, honestly, some of us sell our souls to get featured on. We're not that type of account. We'd love for you to tag Star Wars Time Show or hashtag Star Wars Time Show to try to get featured. But our IG is also a tool to show you what we're doing on the site, to share our new podcast, to share our rant videos, to share Star Wars news. So get with it. Either way, Nick, let's get down to your top 5 IG shares of the week.
Yeah, my top 5. So it was interesting this week because before I put together the post, Matt sent me a little message. He's like, I hid one in here. I want to see if you put it in the top 5.
He nailed it. He fucking nailed it. He nailed it so hard, it's the first fucking pick.
It's the first picture. So as I always do, I scroll through the feed. I try to find fun things, cool things, interesting things for our top 5. And the first one that jumped out to me was a fantastic shot.
Love it.
This is the first return top 5 person and in the Star Wars Time Show top 5 history. We're going back to 1/6 Shooter, and he brings a beautiful mashup. And it's not just a mashup of different universes. It's a mashup of different toy types, too, it seems here. So we have
all sorts of layers of awesome going on here, dude.
Oh, yeah. We have an image. So you can almost look at this image and kind of picture it from A New Hope, except change it up a little bit. So it's the scene where you have Han, Chewie, and Luke, except Luke and Han are dressed up in stormtrooper outfits, and they're leading a handcuffed Chewie down the aisles of the Death Star.
Yeah.
Take Chewie and replace him with Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Like Big Groot, like GOTG1 Groot.
Yeah, not Baby Groot. This is massive, like
Hero Groot.
Yeah, his head almost touches the top of the hallway. And
I love it.
Now, when you take, if you think about A New Hope, one of the most famous lines from that movie is, "Aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper?" Now, take that to the maximum. So you have Han in his regular size, like a regular scale trooper, and then you have Luke represented by what looks like a Lego Star Wars trooper that comes up to Groot's knee. It's just the whole thing is so fantastic.
What Trevor did, that's 1/6 Shooter. What he did here is that he essentially mashed Guardians with Star Wars. So as Nick was setting up, I mean, the scene in A New Hope where you got Luke and Han escorting Chewie. They're in stormtrooper out gear. Obviously, Chewie's in his binders. But what Trevor did, he re-envisioned it as obviously Chewie's Groot. But the people escorting him are Quill and Rocket.
Yeah, that's a good. Oh my God, I didn't even realize that. I didn't even realize that was
Rocket. See, Nick,
I
know Nick. He's not looking at all the details, but if you look at it, the regular size stormtrooper is wearing a fucking Walkman.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why 1/6 Shooter is a pimp. The details, and if you look at the little guy. His fucking the raccoon tail sticking out of the stormtrooper outfit.
Oh my God! Yeah,
I mean, dude, I don't even know where Trevor found the fucking rocket figure. I don't even know what the fuck that is. That's not Legos. I don't know if he just miniaturized. Maybe it kind of looks like it could be a. There's this line from Beast Kingdom called Egg Attack figures, where they have the very chibi style, big heads, smaller bodies.
Yeah.
I don't know how Trevor pulled this off. Either way, this is magic. Trevor's the guy, 1/6 shooter, the one that won the fucking Star Wars fan thing in 2018. I mean, he's the one that remade A New Hope's poster with toys.
Yep.
The guy is fucking brilliant. I mean, he is... 1/6 is a professional toy photographer. He gets paid to shoot toys, by the way. I mean, his photography ends up on box shots of like 1/6 scale Star Trek figures. I mean, Hot Toys figures. I mean, this guy is a fucking pimp. So when you see this shot, this is pro level stuff, my friends.
Yeah,
pro level.
And it's just
like Nick didn't even pick up on the little details that Trevor just inconspicuously weaves into these shots like this.
Yeah, like the Walkman.
I mean, the comment is, "This is not going to work, Quill."
Yeah,
dude, shut up. It's going to work. Look, we found the suit your size, didn't we?
It's such a
it's
well
brilliance on so
shot.
many levels, Nick. I mean, it's ridiculous, and that's why, without me saying pick this fucking shot, I am impressed, and I love you for picking this shot.
It's just
I'm so glad you picked this shot, because this is the exact one that I was leaving subtle hints for without influencing your decision.
Yeah. In no way did Matt say like, "Hey, take a look at this 1/6 shot" or anything like that. It was just
it got close to it, Nick. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was a little worried that you weren't gonna pick it, but I was like, "There's no way anyone could pass this up."
Oh yeah, I mean, this is masterful work. I mean, it's funny too. Like even in the background of the shot, you see
Piet. Yeah, he's got Piet sitting back there.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like when we share on our account, I can only share one image. Trevor actually included a BTS, so I encourage anyone to go check it out. Because if you look, you can see how he staged this shot. He's using props I use. They're called space walls from GTP Toys.
Yep,
that's what he's using to kind of build those cylinder columns, the light windows, the control panels. That's all like practical shit. But back by Piet, what he's done, he's actually lined up his diorama to a computer screen to give that depth. So if you look beyond Piet, that's actually a computer screen in the background. But in the foreground, that's all practical.
That's fucking crazy. I would have never known that if you didn't
say
anything.
That's what I mean. I mean, it's a shame we can't, because, you know, if an artist shares a shot that has a slider, you know, how IG offers sliders now, we can only grab one of the shots. So,
okay.
By all means, go check out at 1/6 shooter. So it's at 1/6 ONESIX_SHOOTR. Check it out. Grab the behind the scenes. But I mean, dude, Nick, you did it. You grabbed the one I wanted you to. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Let's move on to the next one, because this next one, this is a...
Oh, this next one is titties ×2 as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. So this is a shot, essentially a recreation shot of the end of TLJ, where you have the ultimate showdown between Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren. This is before Kylo knows that it's a hologram and, you know, a force projection and his uncle's not there. But just, you know, the way that it's posed is you're seeing the back of Kylo, and both of the sabers are already ignited, and Kylo's really has a good effect to it. You can see like the chaotic nature of the blade, and then you're looking, like the shot is posed to where you're looking directly at Luke, and you can see his face and like the intensity in his face, and then him gripping the Skywalker family saber, ignited and ready to go. You know, you have some blur effects here, and you also have what looks like some digital smoke effects on the bottom as well. I mean, I just thought that this shot really popped. Like the lightsabers really kind of grab you, and then just the way that Luke is posed in this shot is really
totally
powerful.
Here's really, I mean, to me, again, people, Nick is not a nut like me. He's not a figure collector. He's not a toy photographer. So he's just appreciating this as just art as it's presented. Where me as a collector, I'm looking at this going, I want that fucking custom Crate Luke. Because that Crate Luke, Nick, that's not a real figure.
Oh, really?
Exactly.
Okay.
The South P24, along with, I believe he's got some other customizers, they've built this from kit bashing, sculpting their own heads, painting, this, that, and the other thing. That Crate Luke is not a production figure.
Jeez, wow, okay. That then that like changes the entire deal here.
Yeah, so I mean the shot itself, as you said, is fantastic.
Yeah.
But the fact that South P crafted his own fucking figure that doesn't even exist, and it looks like Hasbro invested a few $100,000 into a production figure.
Yeah. I mean, because the face on this figure looks
perfect.
So fantastic. Like, that's what really grabs you about it is that the head sculpt. Like,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, and Hasbro has improved their head sculpts leaps and bounds with the photoreal tech we've talked about. This is literally just people fucking sculpting a head on their own, painting it on their own, mashing it on the random body parts, and coming up with their own figure. And a figure that honestly looks like I would pay $70 for that, Luke.
Yeah, I was about to ask you that. Like, what is?
I mean,
price
he
point
looks
of this?
like an SH Figure Arts, or if you're in the community, a Mayfex or a Mezco 112 figure. That's the quality. I mean, it's definitely above a Black Series, which, I mean, obviously for $20, Black Series is a deal, and it's gotten so damn impressive with the digital face paint, photoreal type of shit. But to me, this Luke, the way it's customized, I mean, this is a figure that I'd probably have to pay $50, $60 or more.
That's so impressive.
To get. Totally. So it's fantastic.
Yeah. So just double the impressiveness here, seeing that is a mashed together,
right? Not only a great shot,
figure.
Great custom figure. I mean, we're talking an artist on multiple levels.
Yeah,
He can
beautiful.
shoot, he can build.
South P24 is the Instagram account you want to follow for that. Good stuff all around. Next shot. So again, like, I have no knowledge of the toy photography community at all. So when I picked this shot and Matt looked at it, he's like, "Oh, you picked a Sir Dork shot," and apparently he's a big name in the community. But this shot, like, the name didn't stand out to me. What stood out to me is just like the fantastic effects that are present here in this shot. So what you see is a group of, I mean, these are what kind of troopers are these? Matt?
The lead. Thank you. That's the bonuses you get on Star Wars Time Show, by the way, people.
We keep it real.
I may drink a few beers before I record on Friday night, by the way. But no, Nick's right. I mean, the lead trooper, that is Nick. That's the patrol trooper from Solo. Yeah. The trooper behind him is a standard, but it's one of the Black Series that has these really generic kind of blaster marks on it. And then the one to the right in the distance and the kind of the orange flare, that's just a standard trooper.
Yeah, the standard one, I could pick out the one that's behind the flare, like you mentioned. The one in the back, I couldn't tell if that was like additional like marks on the armor or if that was like blaster.
It is. I mean, that's how it ships. They basically just blast on some carbon scoring, if you will.
Carbon scoring, yes. So, I mean, basically what the shot is, like, it is a complete action, almost like a wartime shot, and what's happening is these troopers are running through what looks like a marsh, and on the left side of the photo, you have this, what looks like a giant wave coming up, like a huge
it's a fantastically captured water splash.
Yeah.
I mean, this, I would assume Sir Dork, I think his name's Jared, probably had an 800 to 1,000 shutter speed setting. I mean, that's how you get that real frozen look of that type of effect.
Yeah.
I believe I read his BTS. I think this is a combination of two shots where he actually lit the firework off in one and then did the water splash in the other. So not only a great practical shot, but, I mean, obviously Dork can manage the stuff in post-processing.
Yeah. Just beautiful all around. One of the better action shots, one of the best action shots we've we've had recently. So just all around solid stuff from at SirDork730 on Instagram. Go follow his account. You'll see a lot of that's his deal, right? He's really into using.
Oh, he blew up. I'm telling you right
that.
now, if you're someone on, I don't remember if it was December, November, January, it was around that time, but there was a viral post going around Facebook or Reddit of a guy that would do photography with Star Wars characters using fireworks. This is why this is him.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll explain. He's like, dude, I had no clue. It's like, I can't believe this shit went viral. I'm so humbled. I mean, the guy literally now has 20, 30,000 followers. I mean, good for him. That's something I've wished for myself for 9 years now. I haven't achieved it. It's just another reason I'm probably going to go hang myself after this podcast. But at least Sir Dork has broke through. Good for Sir Dork.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic shot.
Yeah.
All right.
But Haywood Pop's going on suicide watch.
Everybody, go give Matt Matt, you have some fantastic. We were talking before the cast. You have some really good Luke shots up.
I've been running. Nick and I talked about this offline for the Resistance recap finale, but I was invited to participate in a Hasbro challenge by one of their PR outfits. So this entire past week, by the time you're listening to this, I will have submitted my last Luke shots by Monday, 3/25. But I went overboard. Hey, there's our alarm.
That was actually perfectly timed.
We've planned for that, people. You may be hearing that going, these idiots are stupid. Hey, Google, stop. But that was so I could share, just as we were talking about, my next Luke shot on Instagram. So like I said, I was challenged with sharing Luke-inspired scene shots on Instagram using the Hasbro Toy Pick hashtag with the hopes that I'd get a shot shared at Star Wars Celebration. So that alarm going off was to remind me that, hey, it's time to share another shot because it's Toy Pops 3 time. So the fact that we're in the middle of our IG top 5 shares as this is going on, anyone that does toy photography, you know what I'm talking about. You know it's Toy Pops 3 time. It's time to share the pics. So as I'm getting ready to hit send, I'm going to go ahead and let Nick carry us on to our third artist of the week.
Yes. So we're going to move on here to another Lego shot. Lego shots have been...
It's my favorite too, Nick. Don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, it's like Legos are just... I'd never thought that Legos could be so cool. Legos could be posed to look so intimidating, adventurous, action-oriented. So this is a shot from Lego Star Wars Tong, Lego_Star_Wars_Tong, and it is of a squadron, a group of 5 troopers. It looks like there's some sort of... I'm going to see if they have it in here. I'm not really good at identifying the troopers, but it's 5 troopers in a marsh.
No, these are standard troopers, brother. You're good.
They're just beat up.
I mean, he added, obviously, some custom weathering. I mean, just fucking titties again. Titties.
It's just, again, yeah. Because of all of the custom work he did to these Lego figures, I was like, are these special swamp troopers or anything? But you can, if you look at it and you remove all of the extra things, you can see just a standard Imperial bucket head there. And these troopers are walking through water, and it looks so cool because, again, you have the small scale of the Lego figures, the additional work on top of the figures by putting in the wear, the marks, the weathering that Matt was talking about. They're holding weapons. They're looking, the way that they're positioned, they're looking out into the distance. Some of them are looking straight ahead, off to the sides, like they're looking for a threat. And then the background of this image is really cool too, because it's almost like a painted kind of background, almost like a watercolor background that's used here. I just thought that this shot was, again, Legos have been capturing my attention. I think it was really cool, and Star Wars Tong, you got me. You captured me with this whole image.
Yeah, it was. I'm with you, Nick. The Lego art form, especially in photography, in particular Star Wars, it's something that immediately catches my eye. I think it goes back to my preference for chibi design. Again, big heads, small bodies.
Yeah.
That's what got me into toy photography with Funko Pops. That's what got me into Funko Pops, bobbleheads. Before that, I really used to appreciate that aesthetic. I'm moving into more of the lifelike stuff, the Hot Toys, the Black Series, the high-end figures. But I'm with you. It's hard to pass up a quality Star Wars Lego shot because they look awesome and also, dare I say, cute in the same light.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, you almost look at it and imagine, these little tiny troopers actually on a mission. Like, in Star Wars as a property has embraced the Lego brand more than anybody. So much so that you have entire Lego Star Wars video games. You have Lego Star Wars little mini-series episodes. I mean, it's unlike any other property out there. And when you see these Star Wars Lego figures, you can just picture them, in an animated series or in a video game because those properties are out there and they're available for everybody to see. So, for the photographers, the artists out there who are using Star Wars Lego figures, it's another testament to, one, the creativity of the Star Wars fandom, and two, just the broad reach of the Star Wars brand and how far it extends and stuff. So again, the account to follow here is Lego_Star_Wars_Tong. Fantastic shot. Last one. We have number 5 here. This is from Trooper_Nerd. And this shot is of a pretty basic posed Boba Fett, but it looks so real that when I was scrolling through the feed at first, I was like, oh, it's just a picture of Boba Fett. Like, I just thought it was a Boba Fett picture from like the movies or from something like that. And then I realized it's got Trooper Nerd's mark on it here. I was like, holy shit, is this an actual toy picture? And I opened it up, and it was like, there's 1/6 scale Hot Toys Boba Fett, all in camera, like. And I looked at this, I was like, holy shit, this looks like a fucking set pic of Boba Fett.
It looks like fucking Jeremy Bullock donning the fucking armor again.
Yeah, you cannot, when you look at this, you cannot tell that this is a
you might as well take us back to 1980.
It was just such a well-executed shot. The background, again, is very minimalistic. You have a light source coming from, when you're looking at the picture from the left side, you have some smoke in the background as well. But it is all used to make Fett really pop and to have like a shadowed side and a lighted side. And again, like it's using, like Matt always talks about, like the soft cloth clothing for this figure. I mean, it looks fantastic. Like,
I own this Fett myself, and it's one of my highlights of my Hot Toys collection. I mean, if you bought the deluxe option, you actually get double costumes, Nick. You get a full different helmet, a different cape, if you will, different shoulder pauldrons, different arm, what are those called? Gauntlets are different.
Yep.
His boots are different. His hands are different. I mean, this is one of the best 6-scale Fetts out there right now. Yeah. And I mean, Trooper Nerd, obviously, as Nick said, just fucking nailed the portrait. I mean, I myself, I've come to the realization I excel in portrait style like this or basic scene recreation. I'm probably never going to be the guy that creates the epic like action stuff or the group shots of very highly posed figures like plastic action, those type of pimps. But so I mean, naturally, I'm going to be drawn to people like me that do the portrait stuff, and that's why I love Trooper Nerd's work. I mean, as Nick said, we got great lighting going on here, minimalistic background, so the focus is on the figure. It's a good pose. I mean, it is Boba. I mean, it channels Boba. It's aces.
Yeah, 100%. So that brings us to the end of our top 5 for this week. Again, go follow all of our artists that we featured here: 1/6 Shooter, South P24, Sir Dork 730, Lego Star Wars Tong, and Trooper Nerd. All on Instagram. Also follow Star Wars Time Show Instagram on at Star Wars Time Show. And if you want to make our top 5 features or get your images featured on our page,
tag or hashtag Star Wars Time Show. We're up to 500 hashtags so far, so we're growing. Like I said, we are growing. You can grow with us, or we can leave you in the dust. No, I'm just kidding. But
leave you in the atmosphere aerosol.
Right. we're all here. We're here for you, and we hope you're here for us. So,
yeah.
Moving on with our fandom segment, we're gonna stick with toys, right, brother? We got a major announcement today in the toy universe, especially if you're into the 1/6 scale toys. Typically, we're talking Hot Toys level. If you are a collector, a Star Wars collector of the 1/6 scale variety, then you know what Hot Toys puts out. So today, Hot Toys unveiled, Nick, in honor of TPN's 20th, a 1/6 scale Qui-Gon, and it is art. This motherfucker will be pre-ordered tomorrow by myself.
You can look at there's a lot of fantastic images here, but one in particular,
it's insane.
You look at it and you cannot tell that it's a figure.
Right.
Like it just looks like a picture of Liam Neeson.
So now you guys know, when you look at this, now you know why I'm willing to spend $200+ on these Barbies.
Yeah, it's fucking insane, and there's a bunch of fantastic shots. So if you go to the post, it'll be linked in our podcast post as always on StarWarsTime.net. Just scroll to the bottom after the little bit of text introduction and click through all of the images that are associated, all the gallery images here. And you'll see just how fucking incredible this figure looks. I mean, there's action poses. Half of the shots are from the Duel of Fates battle between Qui-Gon and Darth Maul from episode 1.
I love the one where they got Maul doing that jump up and Qui-Gon swinging under his legs.
Yeah, and it's even within that image, the pose, the posability of this figure, and then also the lightsaber and just everything about this figure looks so fucking incredible. I mean, oh man. And then one of the shots also shows you all of the different little the different accoutrements that come with it. So you have what looks like a communicator, you have a small
he's gonna have three holograms to throw on the communicator.
Yep. He's got the Yoda, he's got the Mace Windu, which is funny because we've never actually seen him communicate hologram communicate with either one of those people, but he does have the he has Padme's ship, and he actually did bring that up on a little hologram to show Watto in episode 1. He's like, this is my ship. It was the Nubian, J-type Nubian.
Oh yeah.
You also have his lightsaber. You have a bunch of different hand attachments, and then it looks like it comes with an additional costume as well, right? Or is that like a shawl?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the poncho he wears.
Oh yes, when they're going through Tatooine. Yeah, makes sense. So again, this is like if you guys aren't into toys, the toy figures, stuff like that, this is a work of art. Like I wouldn't even consider this a toy. Like people hear the word toy and they're like, oh, it's like something little kids play with. You buy them a Barbie, they play with it for a few years or maybe even less than that, and then it's done. This is a masterpiece of artwork. Somebody built this, created this, and it literally looks as close as possible to a full 1/6 scale recreation of Liam Neeson as possible. Like, it's just super impressive.
Yeah, no, I mean, when I saw this today, I was like, well, there goes another entry to my ever-growing thousands of dollars sideshow budget.
Yeah,
I think at this point in time, I already have over $3,000 invested in sideshow toys or sideshows who I buy from. They sell Hot Toys. They sell their own sideshow branded 1/6 scale. I've mostly bought Hot Toys because I mean they're the ones that do these. What a lot of times they call them movie realization or movie lifelike figures, whatever you want to call it. But I mean that's why I've talked about I struggle to spend money on Swago, this, that, and the other thing. It's because of these fucking things right here.
Yeah,
these Qui-Gon Barbies.
I'm anxiously awaiting Matt's first photo shoot with this figure once he gets it. I mean, I don't know,
I like I said, I mean he's going on the pre-order tomorrow.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's going to be not out until 2020, but once it comes up, I mean, Matt's like your other fucking, prequel Barbie that you really have some killer shots with is your Anakin. And I was scrolling
he's beautiful too.
I was scrolling through your feed the other day, and you posted an Anakin shot before you started doing your Luke series. And I mean, again, like that figure just looks so fantastic. Like, it's just a beautiful fucking figure. So
the best part is I've got the Darth Maul in pre-order, so we're ready to rock.
Yeah, you can do the whole Duel of Fates. Now you just got to wait for
young Obi.
TPM Obi, exactly. And then you do the whole deal.
Guess what I already have pre-ordered? Rot's Obi-Wan.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, Rot's Obi-Wan's coming soon, so I'll have him to pair with Rot's Anakin.
Yeah, so you can do the whole in
But
fights.
I don't have evil Anakin's eyes, so I'll have to do a little, digital editing to turn him yellow. But trust me, I can't remember. This is how bad it is, dude. I can't remember if I pre-ordered the 1/6 Dooku, because they have that coming too.
I think we talked about that when it was announced. Too.
I don't think I did, because there's sometimes where I do try to govern myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's only really one scene if it's a Rot's Dooku that you could recreate.
Right, okay, so you're feeling me at this point. So, I mean, before I got into toy photography, I was still a collector freak.
Yeah.
But I would collect to collect. But Nick tapped into exactly where my headspace is these days. It's how can I collect and also turn it into a photo subject so it makes me feel better about spending all the money.
Yeah, I mean,
that's exactly what Nick just said, and he is 100% right.
Yeah,
he's 100% right.
With Rot's Obi and Rot's Anakin, you can do a ton of stuff. There's a lot of
something with it. Yeah, I can do something with it. But trust me, there was a point in time when they announced the Dooku where I was sitting there and my finger was hovering above my mouse on the fucking submit button, like, don't do it, don't do it, fight the dark. And I had to like pull it away and slap it.
Yeah, I think you made the right move though.
It's tough, man. It's tough because I'm telling you right now that Dooku. It's essentially having a miniature Christopher Lee in your house.
When you put it that way, it's harder to turn that down.
Oh, dude, I mean, there's no way to put it. You've seen the quality just in this motherfucker. I mean, it's the same in the Dooku.
Yeah, man, that's hard to pass up.
Same shit. I mean, it looks just like Lee.
You just gotta get him. You gotta get the Dooku, but then you also gotta get the Saruman from Lord of the Rings and put them right next to each other.
This is why we're good friends. This is why we do podcasts, because I was just thinking, like, you know what? If I could buy the Dooku and somehow find a head replacement in a white robe, for a Saruman, I'm in. And you said it without me even saying that. So here we go. The Force is with us, motherfuckers. So get your asses tuned to the Star Wars Time Show, StarWarsTime.net.
And if you've listened to the Star Wars Time Show...
I sound like Alex Jones or something now.
Oh, God. Just start screaming about random conspiracy things.
No, I don't. I mean, I never listen to a guy, but I'm a big fan of Howard Stern, and they've been doing bits about Alex Jones. They have an Alex Jones puppet, and they'll do bits of...
Oh, my God.
Like when he used to sell supplements, like, hey, I heard this Alex Jones upset about fucking man fuel that's loaded with lead and paint, and you take it, your balls are going to grow big. It's just funny as shit. Like,
oh my God,
yeah,
that dude's
fucking man fuel. You drink gasoline, you eat fucking tires.
Guy is nuts. Anyway,
but anyways, hey man, if you guys collect Hot Toys and you've been looking for a few more prequel joints, this Qui-Gon to me is it's a must buy.
Yeah,
it's a must buy.
It's beautiful.
I mean, honestly, if I ever get to my TPM isn't the worst bit. One of the reasons is because of Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon to me is one of the coolest fucking Jedi out there, and he's gone within one episode.
It is. That's a fucking shame, man. But, we get a little bit of, Force Ghost Qui-Gon here and there in some of the cartoon series.
I mean, Qui-Gon to me is a highlight of TPM. I mean, I remember the first time I saw it. You gotta remember back then in the 90s, the internet wasn't what it was. I don't even think I knew that Liam Neeson was in it.
Yeah, it's like you didn't get casting notifications and stuff like that.
Until the first time I saw it. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, they got Liam Neeson for Star Wars?
Yeah, it's just like the only way you knew about castings is if it was something super massive that made the news, or like you saw it in a trailer or the day of the movie. Like, it's not like now where, Kerry Russell gets cast for episode 9, and that's all we know. We don't even know who her fucking character is, or if she's in the movie for more than 2.5 minutes.
Exactly.
You know everything now. Back then, you did not know.
I like Qui-Gon. I mean, he had a pimp haircut. He definitely, he was a master, but he didn't jive with the master. No, he wasn't a master.
He wasn't on the council, but he was a master. Okay. So you could be a master and not be on the council.
Yeah, but he specifically wasn't allowed on the council because he's kind of a rogue.
Counterculture. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. So
he's brilliant. I mean, in the end, Qui-Gon's the reason a lot of the galaxy got wiped out and Darth Vader came to power, but we still love him.
Yeah. He had decent intentions.
That's why when we get to this Obi-Wan tribute, that's the reason why it just wrecked me emotionally, because the way it's all cut together, the way they lay out Obi-Wan's journey, they basically lay it out like, in the end, he's a tragic hero. Obi-Wan is a tragic hero.
Yeah.
He fucked up. He fucked up by following his master's wishes.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll get to that soon. Next couple of pieces we have here are focused around
celebration. It's time to celebrate. It's time to celebrate. Go ahead.
It's coming up. It's coming up. So
dude,
Star
it's so
Wars
close.
Celebration.
It's so close.
We're like 3 weeks out now. April 11th is the first day. That's the Thursday. And we just got some more news. News is basically for the last week or so been pouring in about Celebration.
Nonstop. They do at least 2 major drops a week at this point.
Yeah. So last week we told you about Forrest Whitaker attending, and then the episode 9 panel. This week we got we'll find the truth. But this week we get information about the Chosen One himself. Anakin Skywalker, aka Hayden Christensen, will be attending Celebration. So he is going to be there. He was there. The first time he was at Celebration was 2017, yep. And you were there for that.
First time he's ever basically come out of Star Wars hiding was 2017.
Yeah, and he, came out, and he, I specifically remember because I was watching the panel when he was introduced for the first time.
Don't worry, I wasn't. I was there, but I wasn't watching
it. Yeah. So I was watching it, and Hayden came out to a...
Yeah, Nick and I, we're these delusional fans that think that think the real people are actually the characters.
Yeah, I don't know his real name. Hayden Christensen's not a real person to me.
Anakin.
He's Anakin Skywalker. But when Hayden came out, he came out to thunderous applause, like a standing ovation. And I thought that was super special because... As I put in the piece when on StarWarsTime.net, where we announced Hayden will be there. He's always been a figure, like a controversial figure within the Star Wars community, just because of, like we've talked about on this podcast before, the portrayal of Darth Vader in the prequels and stuff like that. But the fans came out, and who knows what the support was for, they supported Hayden unlike I thought they would. I thought there was going to be tepid response, but they came out and they poured love on Hayden.
Right. Nick, I think it's a combination of factors. I think it's the fact that he essentially went dark from 2005 to 17.
Yeah.
Just done. Didn't make movies, anything. I think he did Jumper and then just disappeared.
That was it. Yeah, pretty much.
But I also think he's fucking Anakin Skywalker. He was the Darth Vader with the armor too. It's at least the way I interpret Hayden. Obviously when I first watched the movies, I came off going like, I think I'm supposed to like these. I'm gonna pretend I like these because I'm supposed to like these. This was a big thing for me when the prequels came out. I know if you've been listening for months, you probably think I am a psycho and that I'm essentially a prequel troll. you got to remember though, I'm pushing 40. So when these came out, I was in my early 20s. I had such high expectations. I mean, I had just moved to Columbus in '94 when they dropped that they were doing the prequels, and I mean, my mind was like, "You gotta be kidding me! We're getting brand new Star Wars shit," you know. And then whatever comes out, it is what it is. Attack of Clones is what it is, and yeah, I think we all kind of looked at Hayden like, man, some of the scenes were rough. But I honestly think when it comes down to it, he was doing what he was directed to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I mean, the guy had Golden Globe nominations before fucking Star Wars.
Yeah, and even his work, like
that's the crazy part.
And the funny thing is, like, you mentioned Jumper. Like, if you watch Jumper, like, his work in Jumper was good. It was perfectly.
It's not a bad
acceptable.
movie. I mean, it kind of gets knocked on because they're like, hey, whatever. But it's a good movie.
Yeah, I mean,
he's fine. I mean, he nailed that Bilson from that for months or years, I think.
Yeah, like him and Rachel Bilson were dating, for a long time, and like, so it's just, it just goes to show you. I mean, like, there was a lot of rough acting in there from Natalie Portman, a fucking Oscar winner, and from Ewan McGregor.
How could this happen? We're Jedi. We're smarter than that.
But I think now, like you said, when Star Wars fans see these people in real life, in person, in the flesh, like, they realize that he is the embodiment of Anakin Skywalker.
He's Anakin, man. I mean, he's Anakin. There's no way to slice it. He's fucking Anakin.
And like, regardless,
in the end, I love the character of Anakin. I just do not appreciate how it's executed in live action. So that's why I'll revert to the Clone Wars Anakin for my Anakin.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happened at Celebration. Is people embraced him for being Anakin, for portraying one of the most important figures in Star Wars history on the live action big screen.
He's as some people would say, huge.
Yeah. But I mean, so that was really cool to see. So he's going to be back 2019 this year, Celebration. There's been he hasn't been announced for any particular.
Yeah, it just sounds like autographs at this point, right?
Yeah. So he's going to be available for autographs, pictures, and stuff like that. It's yet to be seen if he's going to be on any panels, but we'll keep you updated if there's any kind of news on that. But he will be there in person at Celebration. So if you ever wanted to meet Hayden Christensen, you have the ability to do that now at Celebration.
If you have at least $50 to $100.
Yeah, and if you do your reservations for your
and want to wait in line.
Yeah. So the other piece of news that we got, big news. I combined these into a post, but there was
double big news, brother.
Yeah, double it up. So we have the announcement of the official Mandalorian panel happening Sunday, April 14th, 11 a.m. Twin Sun stage.
Fucking A.
That will be featuring.
I want to get into this.
Me too. Yeah, like this is probably like my number 2 panel. Like, obviously number 1 is episode 9. I don't think we're gonna get that. Maybe
there's
with our
a big
next
one
piece.
on Monday too. I just saw like someone put out like an infographic of the majors, and Monday I think you're still gonna be there, right?
Yeah, I should be there in the morning
because they're doing a big TPM event.
Okay.
For the 20th, but I forget, and it's stupid to even bring it up since I don't know. We're on radio. It's fucking dumb. But there's definitely a fairly large panel scheduled for Monday that if you lucked out and you could be there Monday, that it's going to be well worth going to.
Yeah, might be able to slide into it. So, but this Mando panel will have exec producer and writer Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau is essentially the shepherd of this entire series.
I mean, it's going to be Favreau and Filoni. I mean, I would go sit in a room and just listen to those dudes talk. They wouldn't even have to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, Favreau and Filoni. I mean,
Favreau alone I would go listen to.
Yeah, like Disney and movies in general. I mean, Favreau was the person who kicked off the MCU with Iron Man. Like he directed.
He's the one that proved that you could take a sub-tier Marvel character and turn it into a 22 movie franchise that's about to culminate on April 26th with the 23rd fucking film.
Yeah. I don't
That's
think...
fucking nuts to think about, by the way.
Yeah. I don't think that, like, a lot of people people now probably think that Iron Man has always been the marquee character in Marvel. Like
you know as well as I do, in '08, when they announced Iron Man, we were all like, "What?"
Yeah.
Why because before then all we had was what, Spider-Man and X-Men.
X-Men, yeah. People were all like in the X-Men movies at that time, at least 1 and 2, like X-Men 1 and 2 were very good. Like, and most people, when you ask them about Marvel, like their character associations were mostly like Wolverine, Jean Grey, X-Men style. Captain America comes up as well. Like Captain America,
Fantastic Four was made too.
Huge,
it was just,
already. Yeah.
But this is when, you know, I don't even know if Disney owned Marvel at this point, or Marvel. I think Marvel just got the licenses back for some of their characters to do movies.
This was before the Disney acquisition at all.
And they're like, well, we have a license for Iron Man. Let's try it out with this actor that's been essentially blacklisted from Hollywood. Yep. But he was great, but he went nuts and no one's going to hire him, so we'll give him another chance. And hey, let's use this guy that started as an actor and we'll let him jumpstart his director career. And lo and behold, Favreau and RDJ essentially set the foundation for what has now become, I would assume, a fucking
10 billion,
$5 to $10 billion fucking franchise.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's like
I mean, fucking CM Captain Marvel has already cleared a bill.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, I don't have numbers on this. I'm not going to be able to prove it. But Marvel MCU from Iron Man on is the most profitable movie series in history. Like,
right.
It's not
I don't
close.
think they own any. They don't own any individual records as far as like this movie has made the most.
Yeah.
But you're exactly right. I mean, these movies, it's the new Star Wars, but tenfold. I mean, people like, oh man, Star Wars is oversaturated. Motherfuckers, from 08 to 19, we're gonna have 23 fucking Marvel movies.
Yeah, like count that. That's multiple movies per year on average.
We have 10 total Star Wars movies that started in 1977.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, like, the Marvel movies don't ever get old, and they always get better. Like Black Panther, Captain Marvel,
right.
Doctor Strange.
Dude, Iron Man 1 was a fucking litmus test. It was a test.
Yeah.
Is this going to work? Can we do this?
And now they can do anything they
do
want.
Whatever the fuck they want. A lot of people forget it, especially young people. RDJ was untouchable.
Yeah, he was literally like he had been in jail. He
was showing up in people's houses essentially naked on drugs, laying in their pool.
Yeah, exactly. He was a complete substance abuser.
Fucking off his rocker.
And basically what they did was they hired him and they said, look, you're going to play Tony Stark and you're just going to be yourself. Like, you're just going to play RDJ, except we're going to call you Tony Stark. The only thing is the guy doesn't have, like, he's not a drunkard. Like, that's the only difference between
he
Tony.
He liked real drugs. I mean, he was on the coke and the good stuff.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think where that came from. And I at this point, I don't even know how the fuck we ended up on Iron Man. I'm assuming it's because we were talking about Jon Favreau.
Yeah. But then if we move on to Filoni, I mean, Filoni is a Star Wars legend.
Animation god.
Yeah. Like,
he's the man responsible for all animation outside of the Gennady Tartakovsky Clone Wars bits.
Yeah. So anything that you've ever seen Star Wars animated outside of that initial, I think it was a 2-season run, and it was a completely different art style. So it wasn't 3D animation. This was
Samurai Jack.
Yeah, it was Samurai Jack style of cartoon. Filoni started with Clone Wars, took it all the way through to its first end at the Disney acquisition, comes on with Disney, creates and executes Rebels, then moves on to Resistance, and then circles back and comes to a new revival of Clone Wars.
Oh, and by the way, he's also directing the Mandalorian episodes too.
Exactly. Like, this guy, if there is a successor to George Lucas within Star
100%. 100%.
Yeah, it's Mr. Filoni here.
And Dave Filoni is the spiritual successor to George that happened to also get picked up by Disney.
Yeah. So, I mean, if if Disney, I mean, like, if there's one person on this planet who deserves a feature-length film at this point, it's Dave Filoni.
Well, let's just call him. He's the George Lucas of animated Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. That's a perfect title because, you know, we've talked about in the past how George would come in and be a disruptive force in Clone Wars, but, like, everything that you see in Clone Wars and all of the fantastic things we have to say about it, the portrayal of Anakin in particular, that's Mr. Filoni. Like, Filoni was the brainchild.
That wolf-loving, cowboy hat-wearing pimp.
That dude's always got a cowboy hat on. He does. Every fucking picture.
He loves wolves, and he loves fucking cowboy hats. Just look at the last season of Rebels with the wolves thing.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, like, weaved it into the narrative.
He's a special fucking dude.
Dude, I mean, Filoni at this time, that's one of my top meets. Like, just fucking high five. I don't care if he looks at me, just like passing the hall. Dave, whoa! High five, keep walking like that.
Yeah, just I hope that, you know, it's gonna be hard to get into this
he's
panel.
Definitely listen. So Dave,
yeah,
let's do it.
Get us a pass into this panel, Dave, if you can, Mr. Filoni. But yeah, this is gonna be one of the harder panels to get into, I feel, because this is again like Mandalorian.
We're about to talk. We're about to talk about something.
Yeah, very soon.
That's gonna alleviate maybe some of the panel stress that we've been saying you're gonna experience.
Exactly. But before we get into that, Matt, this twofold reveal here also has a whole gallery of images that are just right up your fucking alley. So I'm going to hand this over to you.
Okay.
And let you run.
So we got this week and this is the sad thing for me. This was just part 1 of the revealed Star Wars Celebration 19 toy exclusives, okay? So Funko revealed a few. We got a few from Hasbro, a few from Lego. And as Nick said, this is the type of stuff that's going to kill me in the end. This is what's going to give me ulcers, brain aneurysms, strokes. You never know. So the first reveal, Nick, we got a few exclusives in the Funko territory. And I can tell you, thankfully, in terms of your post and if people are following along with the cast, all these blued out crow motherfuckers can go eat dicks. I can tell you right now, I could give a fuck about these blue chrome Funko Pops of existing Funko Pop sculpts. Okay?
Yeah.
And that honestly, that's growth for me. That's growth.
Because it used to just be everything. Like,
have
you
to have them all.
all of it.
You're exactly right. Have them all, whether I like them or not. It was just I had to have them all. I can tell you right now, these 6 blue chrome Star Wars Funko Pops for Celebration can go eat dicks. Now, if we scroll down a bit and we see Darth Maul with his hood up, Funko Pop style, yeah, I need that.
Yeah.
I need that.
The only other Funko that's going to be included that's not blue is the Watto. So if you scroll...
I'll take him too, just because he's normal and whatever. I think the yellow eyes are a little fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't really get that styling. I mean, Watto had eyes.
Yeah,
but that's Funko Pop.
Pupils.
I mean, if you look at Maul, he also has just blank yellow eyes. So that is the style of the figure. The good thing with Funko is they usually offer third-party outlets for their exclusives. So if you can't go to the show or if you can't get a lottery to wait in line at the show like an asshole, they're probably going to be sold through another online site during Celebration. So I hope that's the case so I can grab these, the Maul Pop and the Watto without having to wait in line. But the next ones, Nick, the Hasbro exclusives, those are going to be dicey.
Yeah.
Those are going to be the type of shit that's going to generate long lines, knife fights, deals going in like, hey, man, I'll blow you if you buy this for me. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I mean, I essentially blew some guy at the last one to get the Luke Skywalker in pilot gear in this type of oversized 375-inch type of packaging. And that's what they're doing this year, but it's going to be for Darth Maul and Obi-Wan Kenobi based on their Episode 1 packaging. And honestly, Nick, the packaging is what draws me more than the figures.
Yeah, like the packaging itself is so impressive.
It's exactly what they're putting out in 1999 for the 375 scale figures. And I can tell you that for a fact because I have, and this pains me to even say it out loud. Hold on.
I think I know what's coming.
I have near triplicates.
Oh my God.
Triplicates of the entire Star Wars Episode 1 375 collection because of my dedication to all things Star Wars collecting at that time. And again, the reason Nick's laughing because he knows my take on the prequels and, and my love or lack thereof of them.
Anybody listening to this if anybody is new to this podcast, okay, you'd be like, oh, he's a fan. Yeah. If you've listened previously, you all know. You all know.
Not at all.
So go back
I
and listen
essentially
to
have
those
a
rants.
permanent reminder in dollar figures and in actual figures, multiples of each one.
Yeah.
Of the prequels.
What I want you to do
And by the way,
now,
Nick, I didn't do this just for Episode 1.
You did it for 2.
I've
3.
got multiples for clones and Sith.
Oh yeah. So here's what I want you to do, people listening. Next time Matt goes on a prequel rant, what I want you to do is picture Matt and then picture all triplicate sets of the prequel
Crates full
dolls.
of them. Crates.
Right behind him, just floating above his head.
Yeah, I'm an asshole. I mean, I think we've all realized that at this point in time. I mean, Nick definitely has realized that, and hopefully those of you listening have. So back to what am I going to do to get these? The mall one, honestly, I can live without. I own a Mall Black series. He looks no different. They didn't improve the face sculpt, the paint, nothing. Outside of just missing on that package, which, by the way, if I got, I wouldn't open anyways.
Yeah.
Because I still haven't opened my goddamn Luke from 2 years ago. I can live without that. But I'm telling you right now, the young Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's going to eat me up. That's going to give me heartburn. That's the stroke motherfucker right there, because there is no Obi-Wan like that in the 6-inch scale. He's got that photoreal face paint application to it. He's got the fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi peace sign fucking sword fight stance.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is young
Come
Obi.
on. I mean, I have to own this one.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. The good thing is, moving on to our next piece, is that you may not have to sit in a 5.5 hour, 15.5 hour.
This was nice. This was a nice reveal from Reed Pop.
Yeah. So there is a new app that will be releasing soon, not out yet, called the Lightspeed app, which will allow badge holders, so celebration attendees with tickets.
Unless you're like me and Nick and you don't have your badges yet and everyone else is just going to fucking get everything before we can.
Yeah,
anyway.
Which is ridiculous. But badge holders, so the app's not out yet. But you will be able to reserve panel seats. You will be able to reserve specific times during the day for shopping.
Lottery reserve.
Well, no. Okay, so there's a lot. So there's two parts to this. So there is for the big panels, there is a lottery.
Right, so what they call the morning panels, as Nick and I have teased throughout the past 2 or 3 weeks, like the 9 panel, we're like, oh, you got to sleep over for that. Well, they fixed that because, by the way, no sleepovers at Celebration Chicago.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's banned. Like, I don't know if you read every sentence in that because that's a long-winded post.
It was. That was a huge post.
To explain the lottery, but I read it. No sleepovers in Chicago. That shit's banned. Straight up, no sleeping over in line. It's gone. So as Nick said, your only chance to get into the mega panels now is through a lottery, and quite frankly, I'm down with that 100%.
Yeah, because it's complete. It's a lottery. So like if you want to get into the episode 9 panel, you know it's going to be fucking impossible. So you put your name into a lottery, and you can be drawn to have a guaranteed seat at the episode 9 panel. And you can do this for all major panels. It's not like you have to pick one or the other. You can do them all. So if you want to put your name in the lottery,
you can get actual seat numbers, section numbers now. I mean, you are going to have if you get picked, a guaranteed spot for the deals. So as Nick teased, there's another way, and I think you're right. Like I said, I believe the post, it was kind of fucking confusing.
It was very long-winded, yeah.
You've got this, I think this is where you're going, right, with the Lightspeed virtual panel thing?
Yes, yeah. So the virtual panel reservations would allow you to, for outside of the massive lottery panels, you can still reserve seats for other panels throughout the con as well, throughout Celebration. And the Lightspeed app will also allow you to reserve a specific time to go to the shop where you don't have to wait in line. So you can show up and say like, hey, Matt R. Haywood here. I have my time reserved. It's 2 p.m. on Sunday. It's time for me to shop, bitches. And you just walk in and you go. So you don't have to sit in a massive line to wait to get into the Star Wars Celebration shop. You can just get there, get your stuff, pay, and get out. And as I led this post off, I mean, and you were saying, like you were saying, Matt, like your take on 2017's Celebration management was not the best. So like just overall, do you think that this is purely done because of feedback from 2017?
Oh, it has to be. I mean, I know there's probably some people are like, oh, you know, we love the fucking campouts and shit. I get that. I mean, there is a community aspect to that stuff. I'm just not someone that could fucking sit on concrete for 15 hours straight. I would need drugs pumped into me nonstop. Nick would have to have like an IV of booze going into me or something.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way.
It would be...
No way.
Oh, man. We talked about it a little bit.
I would need a yurt with AC, fucking electric, a TV, internet, whatever. There's no fucking way. So, yes, I do think this comes from feedback from Celebration Orlando, because that was a goddamn disaster panel-wise. A fucking disaster. I'm not going to go into it. We've talked about it before. It was a nightmare. This way, I know, yes, it may not seem fair, but I think it's as fair as it gets for this type of event, to where if you bought a ticket, you have the right to apply for these lotteries, the Lightspeed lane, this, that, and the other thing. So if you do your planning and this, that, and the other thing, you should be able to at least see one panel a day now, I would think.
Yeah, hopefully.
Where before, if you weren't willing to wait hours upon hours upon hours, you probably weren't seeing shit.
Yeah, it's like you said, if you weren't sleeping overnight for every panel, you might as well just peruse the floor and then go home and watch everything on fucking YouTube. Like, it was impossible. So, yeah, just another improvement on this year's Celebration. I can't wait to get my passes, like you said, my badge, so I can, like, get it activated and then be able to start fucking reserving stuff. Matt and I are probably going to coordinate to see if we can get some some panel spots together.
Even not to get, I mean, if anything, we'll at least try to spread ourselves through so we can at least, you know, I envision Nick and I may do at least one remote.
Yeah.
From Chicago. You never know. Maybe we'll do little recaps every night at the end. But yeah, I mean, the goal here is between us, and we're going to be stringing along our intern Kung Fu. You know, maybe we'll get him into some, and we can all kind of compare notes and do a breakdown. But I mean, I think that's the plan. I mean, I would love if we could go all watch them together, obviously, but
there's a lot of stuff to cover.
Yeah, knowing the way these things go down and that it's lottery now, I mean, we're just gonna have to see what we can do.
Yeah, who gets what and what anybody can get into, essentially. But yeah, so that's the big Celebration news. So you have Anakin Skywalker, a.k.a. Hayden Christensen, in real life, going to be there. Your Mandalorian panel, plus all of your exclusive toys that were announced, and you now have a way to possibly get into some of the biggest panels at Celebration without stabbing somebody or having to sleep on the floor or selling your blood, anything like that.
I like stabbing people. That's a good way to describe it.
I mean, it's just...
If you want to see panels of Star Wars Celebration, bring your shivs.
Yeah, it's like the Hunger Games. That's the lot. That's what they don't tell you. The lottery is okay. You have to go into a fight to the death.
Yeah. By the way, it's just a lottery for the Hunger Games of Star Wars panels.
Yeah. So good luck.
It's like you're gonna see Nick running towards a cache of weapons and beheading a little child. It's like, so he can get into the episode 9 panel.
No fucking mercy. All right.
Yeah,
I want to listen to JJ talk.
Right. Spoilers for The Walking Dead, but if you've been watching the current season, Nick's gonna go Michonne on some fucking babies.
That's how it's gotta be, man. This is Star Wars. This isn't fucking My Little Pony. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, watch out for his katana. It's coming.
It's coming down. All right. We're going to move on to another piece of Mandalorian news. So we just talked about the Mandalorian panel. Now, Matt.
This is awesome. I love this.
This is what Favreau does, though. Like, Favreau is... He's not, like, a huge social media person like Mark Hamill or Ryan Johnson is now. You know, a lot of the other Star Wars people out there.
He likes to trickle. Favreau's a trickler.
And what Favreau does is he likes the no comment pictures. So he just puts up a picture and doesn't say anything about it.
Yeah,
like,
dude. This was a big no comment. Like,
yeah.
Big no comment.
So this image comes directly from Mr. Favreau's Instagram account. And what we see is an ADR session. So an ADR session is a voiceover session.
Uh-huh.
And we're looking at a very familiar MCU director, Mr. Taika Waititi, who's also a director on future episodes of The Mandalorian. And what else we can see is the screen. We see the screen that he's looking at. And on this screen, very prominently, is IG-88 assassin droid from
Pretty
Star
much,
Wars.
I believe, Nick, that's also the green screen shot we got a few months back.
Yeah, because
they just added the background now.
Yeah, the pose is almost exactly the same. Now, granted, the pose was just him fucking standing there.
I'm telling you right now, I own 2 IG-88 figures. He doesn't fucking pose.
Yeah, he just
even in real life, he's a fucking robot. I mean, he's got elbow joints and knee joints. That's about it.
Yeah. So, what we can infer from this shot is that
he's IG-88.
Yeah, Taika Waititi is IG-88 here, people.
Yeah, your boy Korg is going to be IG-88, and I kind of brought that up in the piece, Nick. Do you think he's going to use his
the Kiwi
what would you call that,
accent?
the Maori accent, or it's kind of New Zealand, but I believe it's the Maori tribe, you know, kind of like Tamara Morrison, Jango Fett.
Yeah. So
do you think he's going to bring that same voice, or do you think he's going to or do you think they're going to modulate it to make it sound robotic?
That's what I was going to say. Like, there's got to be some modulation, because if I look, like, when I look at IG-88, he doesn't seem like a droid that's going to have, like, human-like speech patterns.
Exactly. Like any inflection or anything. Like, to me, he can't speak like C-3PO.
Exactly, yeah. Like, C-3PO could modulate his voice. He could, you know, he has pitches and tones and stuff like that. IG-88, I feel like, is going to be very robotic, so they're going to take Taika's voice, whatever voice he decides to use, and then throw a bunch of distortion on it, make it sound very robotic and rigid. That's what I
just wonder if they're going to give him that accent like Korg, like, oh, yeah, man. Hey,
dude, that would be so...
What do you think now, bye?
If he had a fucking...
Oh, yeah, man. He's dead. I stepped on him. Oh, hey, guy. You're still alive? Good to see you, bud.
That fucking scene in Ragnarok was hilarious.
Oh, he's great. I mean, Korg's one of my favorite MCU characters. And okay, I'm not going to say anything. It would be spoilers.
Yeah, but just good stuff. So
you may see him again.
Taika, yeah. So that's the story here, is that now we know, well, one, we know that IG-88 is going to have a speaking role, definitely.
I mean, dude, yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, that may be more mind-blowing than the fact that Taika's doing his voice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, IG-88.
I mean, IG-88 has a voice.
Yeah, just in general. So he's going to be a player. He's not just going to, like, at first when we saw the image, we're like, is he going to be, like, in the background? Is he going to be, like, just a passing shot?
Right.
But now... I mean, this is kind of proving to us.
You almost have to think now he may be a recurring minor.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, Taika's going to be on set.
I mean, maybe he's a fucking major side. Who knows? But
yeah, so this character is going to play, I would call it a significant role in at least one episode of The Mandalorian, confirmed from this.
Totally.
So this was, again, really cool drop from Favreau. Just drops the picture with no caption, no comment, anything. One of the other cool things that's in this shot is like you can see the Mandalorian style helmet, like the helmet.
What do you think, that's motivation or something? Get their headspace right.
Yeah, because
no, never mind, because we know Pedro's the Mandalorian, so.
Yeah, like, were you thinking that he was using it as like could this be like a conversation between like the Mandalorian character and IG?
Like what exactly? I mean, are they using it for a scene, for inspiration, to get Taika in the mood? I don't know.
Yeah, or is it just did Favreau just throw it there as like hey, here's a fucking helmet? It almost looks like it's spray painted red too, like.
Yeah, because I honestly think if they're bringing in Pedro to be the Mando, they're probably going to let him do the speaking.
Yeah, for sure.
They're not going to dub him with Taika's voice, so.
No, I don't think that would happen at all.
And by the way, if I have a son or another kid, I think I'm going to name him Taika.
That's a solid name, dude.
It's fucking
just
pimp.
Like, Taika Waititi is like it's the coolest fucking
name. Super pimp.
So that's the news there on Mando, people. Get ready, because we're in 2019. 2019 is the year.
I think
Star
the
Wars.
panel. Here's what we're gonna get for the Mando at Celebration. Teaser at minimum, if not full trailer.
Yep. Release date.
Release date and a bit more context, I think.
Yeah. Do you think? Because for the Mando panel, like we said, the confirms are Favreau and Filoni. Do you think we get Pedro?
Take it to the bank, dude. I mean, next week will probably be the Pedro announcement.
Do you think we get Gina Carano?
Yes, of course. What the fuck are these people doing?
Yeah,
I mean, of course they're gonna take probably $50,000 to come sit at a panel for 2 hours.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it, dude. Like I'm as excited for the Mandalorian as anything else coming out in Star Wars.
I'm gonna leave a note for maybe a video. I'm gonna do like a take it to the bank for Star Wars Celebration.
There's a lot that we can that we've gone over just in these casts.
Like what you can pretty much guarantee. Like I'm telling you right now, guarantee 9 trailer, guarantee Mando trailer. Hey, you may even get a Cassian tease.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you right now, anything that's getting a major panel that's a show, expect a first look.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're gonna move on now.
This is like titties and milk, right?
This is fucking super interesting. Interesting.
Big time.
So everybody knows.
Something we've been bitching about for a while too.
Exactly, yeah. Like everybody knows that we're not huge fans of EA's handling of the Star Wars video game license. Everybody knows that. But there's really, like, in our minds, we're like, what can they do? Like, what can you do about it? Like, Disney gave them the license. Like, yeah, they could take it back. Maybe they could say, like, well, we're voiding the contract. We'll pay out, whatever we need to. You're done. But Disney made a very interesting move.
They figured out something to do.
Oh, yeah. So what they did was they took Lucasfilm Games, not LucasArts.
Right.
Not LucasArts.
A lot of people forget the 2 different entities back in the day. Like, Lucasfilm Games did exist in the past, but its last game it made was 1991.
Yeah, this was before. So this is not the LucasArts that you associate with
the X-Wing game, the TIE Fighter games, all that shit.
Jedi Knight, Force Unleashed.
This was all pre all that.
Yeah, before everything. So
it was even pre Dark Forces, right?
Yeah, Dark Forces was also LucasArts.
I mean, this was like the Monkey Island type of shit.
Yeah, this is like super early PC style games. Like, this isn't anything
Holy
that
shit,
like
Ohio State beat fucking Iowa State in the tournament.
There you go. That's
an 11 seed beating a 5 seed, people. So if you had a bracket going on, that's a bracket buster.
Yeah, so that could bust you. I don't remember.
Holy shit.
I think I might have had Ohio State winning that game. I have to go back and look. Anyway, so Disney said, you know what, EA? We're going to put a little pressure on you. We're taking Lucasfilm Games and we're bringing it back to life. And the way that we found out about this was not like an official like post about it, right? We found out about this from fucking like job listings, the internet.
Exactly. Yeah. I think we scraped it off of Engadget. Yeah. Engadget. But it came. I mean, I sent it to Nick. I was like, "Hey, motherfucker, it's time to bust out that fucking animation degree, my friend." I mean, they're hiring producers, managers, and marketing managers, and that's like marketing. That's Nick's fucking niche right now. I was like, sell your fucking house you're about to buy, and move yourself out to super expensive San Fran.
Yeah, and if you look at all of this, what's interesting about the listings if you look at all the listings, producer Lucasfilm Games, parks, experiences, and products. That's listed for every one of them. Brand marketing coordinator, associate producer, associate brand marketing manager. All of this is related to parks, experiences, and products. With the parks leading it, it's very, very, very interesting to see that, because this could be a completely new avenue for them. Now with Galaxy's Edge, with Batuu opening, they may take this whole Star Wars game brand and bring it to that park. That would be a super interesting way to approach it.
You're exactly right. So let's kind of get into the legalese of this. You know, we're sitting here like, oh yeah, we're gonna start getting AAA everything. Well, there's some contract shit to think about. So EA technically owns the rights to the gaming license that Disney sold to them until 2023.
Yes.
So what no one knows yet is if this Lucasfilm Games will be able to make Star Wars titles while this agreement is still in place and active.
Yeah.
I mean, so Lucasfilm at this point, Lucasfilm Games could pretty much make anything Lucasfilm owned, in my mind, outside of Star Wars is what I'm thinking. But if you know what it takes to start a video game studio and actually put out a AAA game, the fact that they're just starting to build the studio now, to me, implies that they're probably not even going to put out their first big game until 2023.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the development cycles for anything outside of, like, I mean, if you're talking Red Dead, GTA style, like, well, not style, but like level of, you know, production and quality, those games take 5 years to make. Like a Final Fantasy game takes 5 years to make. So with, like you said, Matt, with it being 2019 right now, if they go into a 5-year development cycle for their first game, and it is a AAA title, like console, PC AAA title, we're not looking at a release date until 2024, and they can contractually do that. Like you said, the EA license ends in 2023. So if you're planning to say like, hey, good run at it, but your time is over, now is when you start building up your team for this studio. Like you start it now, and then you're ready to go right out the gates when the contract ends. So that's a really good call on your part, like pointing out exactly how the timeline works, how the contract works. But I think like Lucasfilm and Disney, they're thinking 5 steps ahead here. Like they're thinking for like waiting for this contract to end. And I'm fucking excited for it, because I want something that is not a Battlefield game. I mean, Battlefront game. Like, I want Star Wars lore, Star Wars story type of games. And I think the best people to do that is fucking Lucasfilm themselves.
Totally. I mean, this makes complete sense. I mean, a lot of people have been inferring that this is a sign that Disney is upset with what EA has done. It's like, duh. I mean, I think people forget. EA has had the license for almost 6 years now, and they've put out fucking Battlefront and Battlefront 2. And Battlefront 2 essentially led to lawsuits because of fucking loot boxes.
Yeah, that was a fucking disaster. I remember that shit. Holy crap. So, yeah, dude. Clearly the things did not work out the way that Disney wanted to here. So they're ready to take the fucking ball. I mean, Disney makes fantastic games on their own. Like, Kingdom Hearts is one of the most successful PlayStation franchises of all times. Granted, that's in cooperating with and developing with Square Enix, mostly done by Square Enix and its Disney properties. But like Disney's made successful games on their own. They did what was it? There was like a Mickey Mouse centered game, and it was like super fantastic. I can't remember the name of it, but they've done AAA titles that have done very well on their own. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm a huge fan of the idea of putting the license back in the hands of the makers and not just some random ass publisher like EA. So I'm waiting to see exactly what's going to come out of here. And if we get a leak, a hint of any kind of development starting for a game that's to be released within the next 5 years or so. So solid piece of news here.
Yeah, no, this definitely got passed around in my circles, between EB and gaming, this, that, and the other thing. This is huge.
Yeah.
This is huge. I mean, like I said, I believe a lot of people with their conjecture, this is a sign that Disney's going, we probably fucked up.
Yeah.
We probably fucked up selling that, but I mean, I get why they did. I mean, you got to remember when they bought the license, all the shit they bought with that $4 billion. They were laser focused on getting these movies going.
Yeah, and they what they realized was at the time they were super worried about recouping their investment. Like I know theoretically they were like it's going to come back and it's going to come back relatively quickly, but it came back faster than they even could expect. And now what they realize is we're losing out on a massive chunk of entertainment revenue by not having regular game releases. Like, do you know how much money video games can make if they're successful? Like Rockstar Games, the publisher and the developer for Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto, they only have to put out one game every 4 years.
Not even that, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking like every 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, and they make like $650 million, almost $1 billion from releasing one game that costs them around $150 million to make. Like, you can bring in the fucking money if you do video games well and people attach themselves to it. Like, if you can put out a Star Wars franchise that people will buy every time you drop one, then it's just more fucking money for Disney. Like, it's just going into the coffers. And I think that they've picked up on it. Like, they've picked up that paying EA a licensing, or like having EA pay them a licensing fee and then also having royalties from the games. Yeah.
It's not worth it.
They can just do it themselves.
They can make more actually producing games that people play. The only thing that concerns me about this is what's the scenario if in 2023 if this happens and they shift the license back? What happens to Swago?
That's a good point.
Does EA own Capital Games?
Yeah, EA owns Capital Games is a studio owned by EA.
That's what I thought. I mean, EA publishes Swago. Capital Games develops it, but EA, I believe, and you're kind of confirming that they own CG. So
yeah, it's just like
what if this game's still going on? Because I was talking to Kung Fu, he's like, yeah, the game might be on its back end. I'm like, blasphemy, motherfucker! I mean, this game's your life, and you're talking about it could just go away, and you're okay with that? I was like, this game isn't going anywhere as long as it's still turning a profit.
Yeah.
Like, as long as this free-to-play game for phones and tablets is still making enough money to justify the studio, the people, all their benefits, and it's still making revenue, it's not going away.
No, it's not. It's never going to just
It's just like
down.
Supercell. I mean, Supercell still makes $700 million a year approximately in straight revenue. I'm not just talking about, gross fucking sales. In revenue.
This is from just the Royale games.
Right. No, I mean, dude, Clash of Clans are still making a couple $100 million on.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you do one of these mobile games right, then there's no reason to shut it down for little to no actual reason behind it. I think what'll happen is if we get to 2023 and these mobile titles are still kicking, Force Arena is still out there too. Like, I haven't played it in a while, but like Star Wars Force Arena is still out there. You have There was another game in development at one time, another mobile game. I think it was called, Empire or Star Wars Rising, Empire Rising, something like that. It was another mobile title. And so go, like, I think what would have to happen is either Disney would allow them to continue supporting those games, but probably in a reduced fashion, or they would buy the IP. Like they would buy the IP from them and say like, okay, well, we own it now. And then it would be up to them to, do whatever with the studio that runs it. Like they could retain them and they could essentially force a sale out of EA of that studio, or they could just get new developers on it and continue supporting it with that team. So yeah, this is going to set up a very interesting window of time at the tail end of 2023, beginning of 2024 for the entire Star Wars video game franchise, like the entire license.
It was a welcome piece of news this week that we got. I mean,
unexpected.
It gives us totally unexpected, gives us some hope that outside of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, we may start getting back to some AAA Star Wars game. I mean, we had which honestly, Nick, I love that we're starting to get interaction on IG. Our boy Nostalgic Adam that we talked up about a few weeks ago for top 5, he's like, yo, this is tits. Bring it on. I need to see more of this. He's also referencing something we're going to talk about here at the end with the potential setting for the Got Duos Star Wars trilogy. So all this type of stuff, I think, excites long-term Star Wars fans.
Yeah, for sure. All
right, moving on, dude. I don't know how we're going to approach this one. I almost want to just watch it as we're on the cast because what we're about to talk about, people, I put this one up this week. I don't know how moved Nick was from it, but I feel like the older I get and being a dad now, there are just certain things that when I watch, they cripple me emotionally.
Yeah.
And let's not be serious. I'm not talking about like real life stuff, people dying of AIDS, little kids dying of starvation. I'm talking about watching a Disney movie or something, or Star Wars. And in particular this week, the Garrow Studios, this is a YouTube channel I've been following for years through my work on entertainmentbuddha.com. This guy, he makes really great shit, very artistic stuff. And recently he's been making a series of video vignettes that kind of examine a singular character from a pop culture franchise. I mean, I've shared one on EB for Game of Thrones that he did with Jon Snow / Aegon. It just fucking tits. He did one for Captain America in Endgame, just money. And this week he did one for Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Nick, I don't know if you kind of picked it up when you watched it. It's not so much that the video, I wouldn't say it's just an homage to Obi-Wan, but it really is just kind of it's a great pointed look at the saga as a whole, at least the 1 through 6. And Obi-Wan's impact on the narrative based on his decisions that were, either influenced by his own master and also by just the person he was and what his decisions led to. And ultimately what they led to was he created one of the most evil Sith Lords in the galaxy that killed thousands of people. But he also looked over this Sith Lord's offspring and made sure that he would be able to undo the heirs of his first failure.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's what this video to me highlights.
Yeah, it's almost like you can look at this now. Like if you watch this video, you almost get a very interesting mirroring of Anakin Skywalker's story to Obi-Wan's. Like we always look at Anakin's story as like the tragic fallen hero who is redeemed at the end, but you never really look at Obi-Wan in that way because he never fell to the dark side. He never had this moment of weakness to where it really cost anything.
No, not at all.
But what happens with Obi-Wan is that, like you said, like he is such a well-intentioned person and he does exactly what his master wants him to do, train this young person, this chosen one. And what happens is, like, Obi-Wan essentially becomes this fallen, like, the reason that the galaxy is in shambles. Like, if Obi-Wan would have simply said, I'm not going to train him, then Anakin Skywalker would have never become Darth Vader. We've never been here at all. So you can pin it all on him. But like you said, he doesn't break there. He persists, and he trains Luke, brings him up, and then redeems not only Anakin but himself by having Luke save his father and destroy the Empire. Like, and this video, what it does is very similar to a video that we talked about probably a month ago, 3-4 weeks ago. It takes footage from every part of the original 6 movies.
Dude, did you notice they also use voiceovers from Rebels?
Exactly, yeah, from Rebels, from Clone Wars. You can hear James Taylor's voice.
Oh, fuck it, I'm playing it. I can't help myself.
I mean, this
thing is goddamn magic, people. It's not going to make any sense for you on this cast.
Yeah.
But we have to play it.
So why don't you...
Well, actually, they're not even going to hear it because it's going to be going through my headphones. Yeah. So it doesn't matter.
But essentially, like, what you're seeing in the video is just, it's a lot of...
But it's also the music they set it to. Because in the end, I kind of made this point, Nick. I mean... We've talked about with John Williams. I mean, without John Williams, Star Wars isn't what it is. And really, this video's great. The Gareth Studios edits it masterfully. But if he didn't edit it to the music the way he did, I don't think it would have punched me as much as it does. But this thing is fucking magic. Yeah. You have to watch this with us. Watch it as we're talking right now, because I'm watching it as I'm trying to talk to you and listen to it.
Yeah,
it's kind of difficult.
Pull up the post, and what you'll see is just like it's his journey. You're seeing Obi-Wan's journey, and it's not. They don't always show it sequentially. You're not just seeing it from episode 1 through 6.
Like when they do those cuts between Luke and his dad when he's Anakin, and then his dad when he's Vader. It's just, this is fucking art.
Yeah. I mean,
he's holding Qui-Gon dying. Like, oh my God.
And again, like, this video, this is what I told Matt before we started casting. Like, the thing that I took away from this in particular is that when you do something like this, when you take the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy and you put them together in this beautiful dance that's telling the life of one character, the prequels really shine. Like, that's where it shines.
Yes.
Is in the context of how it references the OT. And this video does it just fantastically. It does it masterfully.
Exactly. What was the other video we watched that had prequel footage where you're like, God damn, that really makes the prequels impactful? Didn't we just watch one a few weeks ago?
Yeah, it was like 3 weeks ago, and it was... it was the Topher Grace supercut.
Yes.
It was
in the end, the key to the prequels is editing them with great music into the originals.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, but that's what it is. Like, what people in, like...
I hate you!
Like, what
you
people
were my brother.
Need to realize is that the prequels only exist
because right there, dude, I'm watching it live. I know it's ridiculous, but he's just like, you were my brother. I loved you. And then it cuts right to when Vader slashes through him in A New Hope.
Yeah. And
you failed, Your Highness. And then you see Luke holding his dad dying.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm ready to cry.
But that's what people need to take away from the prequels, is that the prequels only exist in the context of the original trilogy. Like, they exist to give context and additional information to the OT.
Oh my God! Right at the end when he's holding Qui-Gon and they do that, like, train him.
Yeah.
And then they go to Obi-Wan in A New Hope. He's like, if you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you can ever imagine. I'm like, no, no, you're right. You do, Obi-Wan, because you train his son to fucking turn you back.
Yeah. See,
oh my God.
It's a redemption story, and that's
I want this
now.
3-minute video to be in theaters. Like, that's how much I like this video. I'm not kidding. I teach in college, and I made my students watch this at the end of lecture yesterday.
I mean, that's fantastic, though.
Yeah. I said you can leave if you want to, but if we have time, we are going to watch this video.
It's like it's 3 minutes. It's Star Wars, and if the word Star Wars, if you're walking out because of the word Star Wars, never come back in my classroom again.
Yeah. And I already told him, I was like, I know most of you motherfuckers are probably idiots because you grew up during the prequel era, but that's okay. I love you.
We forgive
I'm just kidding. Sorry.
We forgive you.
Remember, I'm getting away from that stuff.
But like I said, like it shows the redemption story of Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is oftentimes lost. Like that is lost in the greater story of Anakin Skywalker, but through Luke's actions, he not only redeemed Anakin, he redeemed Obi-Wan. Like if Luke Skywalker goes into that fight in Episode 6, turns to the dark side, and does not kill the...
Well, of course. I mean, if you listen to some of the voiceover, they pull it from Rebels, and that's where Obi-Wan is telling Darth Maul that he's watching the Chosen One now.
Yeah.
Like, Obi-Wan truly believes that Luke becomes the Chosen One.
Exactly, yeah.
At least based on the new canon because of Rebels.
Yeah. So the Chosen One, yeah, like... The Chosen One, I guess, is now a fluid kind of movement.
Because there's a conversation where Maul's like, "Why are you living like a rat in the desert?"
Yeah, he's like, "Not
you
something,
have a purpose,
someone."
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Obi-Wan tells him as he's dying, like, "Yes, I'm watching the Chosen One, essentially."
Yeah, and then Maul says he will redeem both of us.
Yeah, it's a beautiful moment. I mean, that's why again, Rebels is. I mean, we love Resistance, but at this point in time, Rebels is, in terms of emotional impact, that fourth season is a nothing but gut punches left and right.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So
that's fantastic. I mean, just random fandom people. I mean, we probably should include our fandom segment, but either way, I stand by my title where I basically say, I typed, "Good luck not getting gutted by this beautiful Obi-Wan Kenobi tribute video."
Yeah, and like this just makes me want a Kenobi standalone movie all the
It's
more.
coming to Disney Plus.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see.
So moving on to more fan-made Star Wars awesome. This week we got a fan-made Star Wars Episode 9 teaser from Smasher. They kind of excel in just cooking up concept trailers based on movies they know are going to happen but haven't had anything released yet. And Nick, I don't know. I mean, how did you take this trailer? Did you dig it? Did you like the way it flowed or what?
I dug it. I think it's cool in the place of the nothing that we have right now.
Right.
But it's very, like, I mean, what it lacks from a trailer is like a cohesive direction, I guess you would say. Like I will say, like, the imagery is really cool. The scenes
they
that are
kind
spliced in
of
are
the
really
way
cool.
It flows. They're almost proposing that Rey is struggling.
Yeah,
like she's having a pull to the dark, and that's the only thing I don't quite agree with, because I think in 8 it's made pretty clear that she's light for life. I mean, even Snoke says, "I have no chance trying to fucking work you over, so you just need to die."
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he straight up says, "Oh, you're a Jedi."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can't work you over like this fucking bozo who came from Jedi jism. You know, I can work him over like putty, but you fucking scumbag from shithole Jakku, you have way more control and way more insights into who you are than anybody, so I'm just going to kill you.
Yeah, yeah.
But this trailer kind of proposes that she may be struggling with a pull, where I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit with the narrative that we've seen so far. The one interesting thing, and I think this is like just a cut in, like they added this, but the scene where it shows the two sabers. So somebody, I think it's Luke, he unwraps. I mean, you don't see who the person is, but I assume it's Luke. He unwraps like this like piece of paper, whatever it is, and it has the Skywalker family saber in it and another lightsaber. That's not anything that we've seen before, but it's an interesting concept that, and I think what they're trying to propose is that this lightsaber that is being held, or like that's next to the Skywalker family one, might be Kylo's like when Kylo was at the
Well,
academy.
he also teases like a case being opened of Darth Vader's lightsaber.
Yeah, I saw that, which is essentially just like the sky. Yeah, it was the episode 7
like
scene.
Kylo is opening that, like he's finally found Vader's lightsaber.
Yeah,
you gotta think about it. We have no fucking clue where Vader's saber's at. You'd assume that it went down the shaft right when Luke fucking chopped his hand off.
Yeah, we don't. I think. Oh wait, no, yeah.
I mean, Luke chops his fucking saber arm off.
Yeah, his saber hand off and it flies in. Yeah, so yeah, I don't think that. I mean, then again, there is the fact that fucking we found the Skywalker family saber in Episode 7. We also assume that was
again.
gone.
So I right, you're exactly right. I mean, if it fell down a shaft, obviously it can be found by Maz Kanata floating through space or something.
Yeah. But it's like, it's cool shit. Like,
you're so right. It's like, where the fuck? Wasn't there a rumor that one of the opening shots of TFA was going to be Luke's severed hand floating through space holding the saber?
I remember that there was something to do with Luke's saber because they were like, well, how are they going to find it? Like, it's got to be somewhere, right? Like, how'd they find it? I mean, back in old canon, there was like one of the books had a story where it was Anakin Solo and his brother, that one of their missions was to go find their uncle's missing lightsaber, and they did. Like, they found it. But yeah, I think it's cool. Like some of the shit that was inserted, like I was saying, the scene with the two sabers and then the hand reaching.
Yeah, I mean, again, people, it's a fan trailer made up of random footage from movies, video games, or whatever. So, I mean, it can only show so much. I mean, in the end, when I share this type of stuff, it's just because I appreciate the fandom that goes into it. And it's well done. I mean, it may not remotely tell the narrative we're going to get in 9, but overall, it's well done for what they had to work with.
Yeah, exactly. And it splices like the work it took to splice everything together. And again, in the absence of an actual Episode 9 trailer, you can watch this and like get your jimmies rustling. You get hyped up a little bit. You're like, okay.
Exactly.
So.
Because we haven't had shit yet. We don't even have a fucking title. And I'm still holding out hope that we're going to get the title before Celebration, but it's getting close at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we're literally talking like three weeks away, so we might not get it. But again, like, there's not as much, like, I didn't like this one as much as the Obi-Wan. I think that you can agree with that as well.
I mean, yeah, that Obi-Wan right now, dude, I may have that played at my funeral at this point.
It would be beautiful. It'd be a beautiful
I mean, that shit to me is it's goddamn. It is art in motion at this point.
Yeah, just take it and superimpose your face onto Obi's face.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to embellish. The first time I watched that, I almost had to go to bed.
You just lay down,
I was just
curl up,
fucking devastated. Like I was doing like I was sobbing like. Like I almost wish I did just a reaction video.
That would have been,
a real one. I almost need to just start doing that now. The way I am, like the way I'll cry. I cried over the Frozen 2 teaser, and nothing happened. I just cried because it's Frozen, and that's my daughter, and some of the musical themes get me. But I got all fucking worked up over that. I mean, that's just the headspace I'm in these days.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you definitely, reaction post for actual Episode 9 trailer is definitely needed then.
Oh my God. That's the one thing that pisses me off because I know it's going to drop at Celebration. Yeah. And I know I'm going to have a pit in my stomach until I put out something on it.
Yeah.
So like as soon as it drops, I know I'm going to have to run back to the hotel and probably spend 2 hours or more breaking it down.
We'll just do a collab video. I'll be in with you. We'll just do a podcast.
Exactly. We'll do something. Like I feel like we're almost we're gonna have to do a video breakdown like I do on EB for the trailers, where I grab stills and I break them down and speculate what I think's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Then we're also gonna have to do, like I said, recap cast.
Yeah.
Like the Celebration trip is gonna be a
work trip.
Yeah, a somewhat fun working trip.
Yeah. So it should be
interesting. And you may hear me slurring more than ever because it will be a fun working trip. Like, I'm not trying to be all serious out here.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Friday night. We watched a trailer a few hours earlier, and Nick and Matt have just come back from a bender. And I'm like, and Nick's actually talking English, and I'll just go, bah.
Yeah, I'll translate the best that I can.
Yeah, you'll be like, because you'll be able to see me. You'll be like, well,
what Matt's trying
one
to say
eye's
here.
closed, his left side of his face is droopy, but he's still making noises out of his mouth. So I guess we'll keep his mic hot.
Yeah, we'll just leave it on and see where we can get with this.
Right.
But yeah, so it's gonna be
You'll be like, what'd you think of that scene? I'll be like,
that
bah, boy.
It's like that's generally a positive thing. He liked that.
Yes.
One. He liked that.
Well, he liked it.
Yeah.
He liked it, people. He's like Mikey. All right, man. Let's go ahead and move on to the last one. We obviously we're gonna set a new record tonight.
This is gonna be marathon.
That's usually what happens when before we go live. We're like, oh yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be quick one. Nope. We're going for 2 hours.
Yeah. So this last piece. Usually we save episode 9
Epic
news for
fail.
last. Oh man! Like I got on today. I was like, we'll probably get this done in less than an hour
Nick's
and a half.
like, I basically have a brain tumor. I can hardly fucking see straight or talk. Can we make this quick? Nah. Let's go ahead and make it our longest ever.
Yeah. So running up on the 2-hour mark, we're gonna jump into literally the biggest piece of news of the week, and
oh, cool.
Yeah. It's a rumor. So usually, if you guys have listened for a while, we save episode 9 news for last. There was no episode 9 news. Like, what's happening now is there's almost like a moratorium on new stuff until Celebration. Like
I think you're right. Some asshole site today, I didn't even bring it up. They're like, oh, episode 9 logo revealed, and they literally showed the X1.
Yeah. Because they're fucking dumb and they're just
like, you
clickbaiting
fucking
the fuck out of people.
clickbaity assholes.
I hate it. I'm not a fan. But, that's how people fucking find you, because of dumb shit like that. But this piece of news, this is actually, it's a rumor, so let's not call it a piece of news. It's a rumor. But this is something that Matt and I talked about way fucking long ago.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly. We brought this up day one when the as I will refer to them because I don't feel like saying their names over and over, the Got Bros.
Yeah.
AKA David Benioff and DB Weiss?
Yeah. Yep. So these two guys, it was announced. So when they were going on their announcing spree of like these people, Rian Johnson's got his own trilogy. We're getting news, rumors. Then we get a drop that Benioff and Weiss have their own series of films that they're going to be handling. They're going to be doing all the creative work for this series of Star Wars films. We had no idea what it was about. There was no announcement like it's set here, this is what it's about, nothing. So when that news came out a long time ago, Matt and I talked about it on the cast, as we do, and we said the perfect thing for these guys to take on would be Old Republic. Old Republic not only fits with where the interest lies in the fan base, something that we've always wanted to see is live action Old Republic movie, but also it fits with what they've been doing recently. Like Game of Thrones is a very brutal, just adult graphic type of movie or type of TV series, and the Old Republic would be something that mirrors that. Like the Old Republic, if you guys know that time period, the Old Republic is legions of Jedi and Sith fighting against each other, massive battles, wars. Just it was a very bloody time in the galaxy because there were these all-out battles.
This is like your era, isn't it? I mean,
I love the Old Republic.
Between us, this is your expertise. I mean, we both played the KOTORs, but you've heavily invested into the SWOTOR, right?
Yeah, the Old Republic MMO, and like I love that game, and what it is entirely based around is this constant battle between the Jedi and the Sith over planets,
Nick,
systems, everything.
Is SWOTOR set before KOTOR or after?
After, because one of the expansions for SWOTOR was essentially the return of Darth Revan. So
so he breaks bad again?
Yeah. Well, so the way that it goes is that
he goes good to bad to good to bad.
To good to bad. Yeah. So like in the very early release stages of the game, it's essentially like an MMO dungeon, like not a full-on raid, but like a smaller instance where you can play through it. And one of them was called the Foundry, and essentially what the Foundry is Darth. It wasn't called Darth Revan; it's called Revan now. Revan takes control of this droid manufacturing, basically like a ship, like a massive battle station that produces battle droids. You go onto it, and then at the end you fight them.
Like B1 battle droids, like Roger Roger.
It was, so you didn't actually see. No, it wasn't B1s. It was like other types of battle droids.
They look like what, HK-47 death droids.
You fight HK in that instance. So you fight HK-47. So he's got HK with him. He's one of the bosses. He says that a lot.
Fuck yeah, he does.
He says that a lot. A lot of almost like Droideka style. There's like two big legs, big guns on their arms and stuff. Giant, just a whole lot of.
Are
different
they fighting
things.
for the Trade Federation?
They are not fighting
the taxation of trade routes.
There was some taxation talk, no, but so that you fight him for the first time there, and then there was an entire expansion that was set around Revan. It's called the Shadow of Revan, which is essentially
no shit. I had no clue. That's why I said. I mean, I knew this was like your bread and butter.
Yeah. So
what do you think? Like, if this is legit, do you think they go KOTOR or more general SWOTOR? Because KOTOR would be easy, man. Let's do a trilogy and focus on how Revan falls. I mean, they could fucking retell KOTOR 1, and I'd be happy.
Yeah,
over
and I
think trilogy, like retell how he went to did he go to the unknowns essentially?
Regions. Yeah, so him and Malik went to the unknown regions.
Was Malik a Jedi too?
Yeah, so it was them two as Jedi go to the unknown regions during the Mandalorian Wars. So like this is when the Mandalorians were trying to overthrow the galaxy, essentially. Like, they mobilized in full force, and it took the power of the Jedi and the rest of the Republic systems to essentially to fight them off. But during the Mandalorian Wars, Malik and Revan go to the unknown regions of space, and they're gone for a while, and they come back, and they're Sith. Like they have switched from Jedi to Sith. So that's when the narrative of this Sith Lord in the unknown regions of space came from. Now, obviously, this isn't linked to like Palpatine or Snoke or anything like that.
At this point, all this has been aborted, by the way.
Yeah, this isn't canon anymore. This is the story. This is the beginning of KOTOR, though. This is the KOTOR story for Revan.
Well, I mean, the movies could reintroduce it to canon. I
Definitely
think that's why
could.
we're excited.
Definitely could. So, like, that's the money way to do it. You take it and you just take what you know works and is one of the most successful Star Wars video games of all time. You turn that into a movie.
Dude, you know as well as I do. If they KOTOR'd a trilogy, it would have potential to make more than possibly these new sequels.
Oh yeah, dude. I really do. I think that
because it polar at this point until obviously the way the world is now. I mean, once someone would watch a movie, I mean, obviously they'd find some issues with it and polarize it. But up until the first movie coming out, there's zero polarization at this point for that era.
Yeah, exactly.
People can't get beefs over anything. I mean, obviously, if Disney's like, well, we're gonna make Bastilla a major character, and they'd be like, oh, god damn it, fucking Captain Marvel syndrome.
Yeah, that like they could jump on that for sure, but. Here's the thing that's interesting about this time period. It's like, when you think Star Wars, you don't think like action movie, right? Like, Star Wars isn't really an action movie.
Not necessarily, right?
But with the Old Republic, like if you wanted to go that way, you definitely could. Like,
well, as you were saying,
an action
with
movie type of thing.
The Got Bros and what they bring. I mean, this time period suits them perfectly. I mean, to me, some of the greatest Star Wars footage are some of the CGI cutscenes for SWOTOR.
Yeah, like that first.
Is that Malgus?
Malgus.
Yeah, that first one of the first CGIs they show him like unleashing all these fucking Sith on all these Jedi. I mean, that shit's fucking nuts.
Yeah, like one of my friends. Well, a guy that I used to hang out a lot when I moved to Austin at first used to work for EA BioWare on Star Wars: The Old Republic, like when it first launched, and he told me, like, this is after the game had kind of fallen off in popularity. There were a lot of problems around launch and everything. But I was talking to him. I was like, I thought it would have been cool to do just exactly what you said, Matt. Like, make a movie based off of those fucking, like, in that same animation style. Just do a whole movie. And he said that was the plan. Like, the plan was to do that. And then George Lucas was like, you better fucking not. Like, George Lucas shit on that game pretty hard from what he said. Like, he essentially told them, like, you can't use anything from the movies. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't use this character. You can't mention that character. He shit on the whole thing. So they had a plan to turn that style of animation into a movie, but it just could never happen because of Lucas. But, yeah, so getting back to this rumor. So this rumor comes out of Star Wars Newsnet, and it's from an unnamed source. And basically what they're saying is that the D.B. Weiss and David Benioff movies are set in the Old Republic, and this is how they describe it. The timeline is hundreds of years prior to the Skywalkers, so think almost Star Wars meets Lord of the Rings.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah,
fucking
dude,
sign me up. Tell me when it's coming out. I'll be there.
Yeah. So Star Wars meets Lord of the Rings is like essentially saying like two of the most popular two fantasy franchises in history are going to meet to make a super film franchise. Like, how do people not go see that? But also what I don't want, here's what I don't want to happen. I don't want them to make this movie and then there are Jedi riding horses.
Oh, please no.
Like, I don't want that. Like,
No, they could ride speeder bikes, swoop bikes, whatever, but not fucking horses.
Yeah, like, I don't want them
There are no horses in Star Wars.
Yeah, no, it still needs to be futuristic. Like, I don't want it, like, the way that he says that, it makes me think that they're going to lose the futuristic feel to it and go to almost like a medieval style, like a medieval type of feel to this movie where you're going back to like the origins of the Force, and like again, like with old canon, there were like you can literally see art renderings of Force imbued blades, like physical swords with Force energy kind of going up them. And this is like in like pre-first schism. This is like around the Force Wars when the entire like when the first people who discovered the Force were battling over how it should be used. So if they go back to that, I don't know if I want that. Like what I would want is, yeah, go back, but like we were saying, like do it like KOTOR where it's still futuristic. There's still starships. There's still space travel. There's still all of this lightsabers and stuff like that. But like just go, you know, tell us, or not really origins, but like, you know, earlier stories. So that was how they placed it. Another quote says, Disney wants to open up the Star Wars timeline and appeal to a more Game of Thrones style audience. So that means way more mature. You're probably talking. I don't think
we're talking like the sex and stuff, but no. I think in terms of actual battles, and I hate to bring it up, but we're talking like Geonosian arena scale times 10, or you know, the Geonosian field battle. I think that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe
like Battle of the Bastards, but Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. Ramping up the violence a little bit more, because I mean, really, if you think it, like, what's the most violent battle that we've seen in Star Wars history? Like, that's a hard
Anakin versus Count Dooku.
Yeah,
Revenge of the Sith. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the guy gets his
and
fucking
it's just because he decapitates him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
I mean,
Mace Windu versus Jango.
Yeah, again, head cut off. I
mean, really, I guess you could argue Obi-Wan versus Ponda Baba, and he chops his arm off and there's blood because they forgot that in A New Hope, if you use a lightsaber, it cauterizes.
Yeah. I mean, you could go to the end scene of Episode 3 where Anakin literally gets like roasted like a fucking hot dog. I mean, but if they're trying to capture a more mature Game of Thrones style audience, you need to focus on something like a Battle of the Bastards type of thing, like where it's more violent, it's more visceral, because Star Wars battles aren't visceral. They're visually, captivating, but they're not visceral. So that could be something. Another quote, I mean, like essentially the quote from the source wraps up and says, filming starts in the fall and the art department they're already in the design phase. Art department's already in the design phase. Scripts are being finalized. And he says that's all I know, but I'm 95% confident that this is accurate. This is coming from one source from Star Wars Newsnet. No confirmation, like there's been no second source confirmation. Like if you know anything about news stories and stuff like that, they generally don't say something is confirmed until there's a second qualified source that is saying the same thing. But it's really interesting to think that they would make this jump, because do you think most casual Star Wars fans even know what the Old Republic is?
I don't give a fuck about casual Star Wars fans, to be honest with you. I don't. Whatever. To me, they're whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
But they're the bangers. Like they like the casual fans is what brings the billion.
I guess.
Like
not really. No. The casual fans bring you. They'll win you week 1, week 2, maybe. We're the idiots that bring you billions.
Yeah. Okay.
We're the repeat viewers. That's where movies make billions. That's where like my one stunt buddy, like I talked up Aquaman to him. He's like, "Fuck you, Aquaman's stupid." I was like, "Dude, it's made the most money ever for DC." He's like, "Yeah, it's fucking bullshit." I'm like, "Well, okay. I mean, you may not like it. You may not like the character, but in the end, if a fucking movie makes $1 billion in cinema, it's not because there's some agenda by the studio or like some crazy deep state shit going on. It's because people went and saw it multiple times.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only reason movies make even $500 million.
Yeah, you need. Yeah, you're right.
It's called repetitive screenings.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right there. So I think like the casual fans will get you the big bang in the beginning, but the hardcores, yeah.
I mean, you do need, and that's why Solo suffered clearly
because of the casuals didn't go.
Yeah, I mean, your point is valid 100%. It just was a little backwards. Like we're the people that stretch it to a bill.
Yeah.
Casuals are the ones that make executives feel happy within the first month after release.
Yeah. So, I mean, you need both parts of the fandom.
I do, but it's still Star Wars. So
yeah.
if they're going to throw out brand new Star Wars, fuck the Skywalkers, this is something fucking wild. If you've never played the video games or haven't been in an EU, prepare for something different.
Yeah, that you've never seen before. And, like, if they're going to do that, I think the easiest way to capture them is something like they did with that SWTOR trailer that you talked about. Like, you have a red lightsaber
battle.
Yeah, like a red lightsaber come up and then 20 other red lightsabers come up. And you're like, holy shit. Like, this is going down. Like, this is not...
You got to think, for these guys, I mean, these two can draw on their GOT fan base, too.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if it does go this route, and we are talking the closer to Kings and Queens era of Star Wars, which is the Old Republic.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking full-scale Sith order.
Yeah, this is before the Rule of Two. I mean, the Old Republic era is why the Rule of Two was implemented, because they became such assholes. They couldn't fucking organize themselves against the Jedi.
Yeah, they were
too concerned about fucking kicking each other's ass.
Exactly. Like, there was so much infighting.
They're on Korriban fucking slaughtering each other to see who was tougher.
Yeah. So,
like, I'm a bigger badass than you are.
And dude, here's what I want though. I want Old Republic, but I want the focus to be on the Sith. Because that's the interesting part of the Old Republic. Like,
of course.
We've already seen, like, if you go back to prequel time, we've already seen an era where you're focused on the Jedi, and the Jedi Order
were the ruling class.
Exactly. I want to see it focused on the bad guys, the Sith.
Because I mean, back in that era, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, the Jedi weren't as foo-foo-y as they are under Yoda's leadership, right?
No, they were definitely more.
They were the warriors. Like they were ready to fucking fight.
Yeah, they were the warrior class.
They weren't peacekeepers.
No.
As Yoda's Jedis were.
No, like Yoda's Jedi essentially were
they wouldn't fight unless they absolutely had to, which came down to they got duped because they're too fucking dumb and hubris.
Yeah.
They had too much hubris, and
that was because of thousands of years of non-confrontational galaxy.
And again, Palpatine is a fucking pimp.
Yeah. But back then, like, the Jedi knew if we don't fight, we die. Like, the Sith are in massive numbers. If we don't fight them, then they're going to overrun us. There's not an option for us to sit back and be nonviolent. Like, it was battlefields full of Jedi. In one story, like, this is from the Darth Bane trilogy, there was a Jedi who could not use the Force. He had no Force abilities, but he was one of the best swordsmen to ever live. He could beat Jedi swordsmen who had the Force because of how good he was.
He's essentially Chirrut Imwe.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. The guy, and like, he ends up dying to Darth Bane in a fight, but like, he could take on Jedi masters in lightsaber combat, and they could not beat him. So that's what
speaking of lightsabers in that era, I mean, we got white, silver, orange, yellow,
everything,
purple, black.
Throw it all out there. I mean, it depends on how far back you go.
Two-handed lightsabers. I mean,
oh yeah.
I don't know, dude. I know where you're at. You're right with me. I mean, sign us the fuck up.
Yeah, this isn't even a question. Like,
Old Republic live action. I mean, please,
dude. I've been asking for Old Republic live action movies since the day I heard Disney bought the license.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to let the past die, as in the Skywalker saga, here we go.
Yeah, you don't have to. I feel like a lot of people are misinterpreting the idea that to progress, you need to move forward in time. In this instance, if you want to progress, go back.
Of course.
That's where all the interesting shit is.
You have so much content to tell 3 movies from that era.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, pick a fucking year. Like, anywhere.
You can make all brand new characters and content. It doesn't matter.
You're completely outside of the reach. Like you've been saying, Matt, like, if you're going into the future, you need to reference Skywalker. It needs to be there because Skywalker has essentially shaped the galaxy.
Exactly. In this era, you don't have to do shit.
Yeah, you could do anything you want. I mean, like, you could tell the whole story of the Sith triumph, like anything.
Palpatine doesn't even exist at this. I mean, we're talking upwards of 1,000 years prior to Battle of Yavin or even the fucking New Republic, or not New Republic, the Republic.
Yeah, the Republic as we know it in the prequels. I mean, like, this is before Palpatine, before Palpatine's master, before Palpatine's master's master. Like, yeah. So it's a fucking free range. Like, I don't know. If this is true, this may be, like, with these 2 guys behind it, and if this is an Old Republic thing, if they execute this right, this could become
epic.
The best Star Wars movies ever. Period. Like,
I don't know. I mean,
of course, like, you always hold.
We can't go that far because in the end, the classics are what spawned everything. So they earn the title of best ever just on that, in my opinion.
Yeah. But
no, in terms of non-Skywalker properties, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, these could, I think what Nick was trying to say, or hey, he could say whatever he wants. I guess what I'm trying to say, these could rival. They could at least sit in the conversation of the classic trilogy, Skywalker style, if done right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because it's
they could spawn. I mean, honestly, Nick, they could spawn their own 9-film run. If done right.
That's where I was going. Like, this is the Skywalker, like, you're essentially remaking the Skywalker trilogy or saga outside of that time period and with a completely new cast of characters.
It could end with Revan being born.
Yeah, like, there's limitless possibilities to a story line like this in a time period like this. It's what I've always wanted. Like the fact that we talked about this forever ago, and now it's like there's a source, you know, quote unquote, a source that has worked on every Disney Star Wars movie that's saying that this is Old Republic. I may die in the theater. Like if I fucking walk in there and like, you know, if we see the first trailer and we see fucking Revan's mask, I may die right there. Like that could be.
If he doesn't die, he'll at least pull a Pee Wee Herman in the theater.
Yeah, if anybody knows what that reference is,
he's gonna have to get some of his excitement out, and it's either gonna be through death or Pee Wee Herman style movie theater action.
So look that up if you don't get that reference.
Now all I can do is envision you jerking yourself off frantically in a movie theater watching Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Dude, it could happen. Like I'm telling you, it fucking...
Yeah, Nick's like, oh.
If Darth Revan and HK-47 walk onto the screen, it's a possibility.
It's like, oh.
But, so yeah, that's...
Yeah, hey man, it'd be great. Let's hope this rumor comes to fruition. And honestly, we're going to be looking for this type of stuff because... come December 2019, goodbye speculating on active Star Wars movie projects at least.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is saying filming starts in the fall. Do you realize how soon fall is?
It ain't far, especially if you're old, because the older you get, months turn into days, years turn into months. I mean, it'll be here before you know it, honestly.
Yeah, like, the thing is, if it's fall, then... in filming starts, then like the announcement can't be far behind that. Like we've known about every Star Wars movie before filming started. So, yeah. I mean, it will be interesting to see if anything about this is true. I'm excited.
Fingers crossed, buddy, because as you said, I mean, it is a ripe era for the picking. Plenty of great narratives could be told, and honestly, they wouldn't even have to tell a narrative based on any of the characters we even know from the aborted EU in that time frame. I mean, it could be all brand new, and I still think it would be something so unique and different that people would eat it up.
Yeah, I just think that the only thing that I want them to like, don't do it like it is now, to where it's like, you know, 2 Jedi, 2 Sith, like they're all working in the shadows. So no. Maintain the same concept.
Do it as prescribed. I mean, we're talking battalions of Sith, battalions of Jedi.
Yeah,
it's a fundamental good versus bad battle.
Yeah, you
know, the Alliance versus the Axis in World War II, that type of stuff.
Exactly. So.
All right, man. Well, what a fucking marathon we just went on. I mean, we're clocking 2:20, and in my part of the world, it's fucking 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm a freak and don't really sleep but more than 4 hours a day. And really this week, because of all my Luke Skywalker toy photography work, I've been staying up till 3 every day anyways. But it was a slog tonight. A good slog, though. I mean, slog might be the wrong word. I definitely had a blast talking for almost 2.5 hours about Star Wars. But
yeah,
that's what we do, right? I mean, we sit here and we bitch and moan like, oh, we might not have enough stuff to talk about, and wow, we might have to save something. And then, lo and behold, we turn basically nothing into 2.5 hours of 2 Star Wars fanboys talking about Star Wars.
It was a
but hey,
day.
people. That's why you should tune in, right? Again, I just want to reiterate, we love all of you that have been interacting with us on IG, Twitter, even on the site now, on YouTube. We're starting to get a little interaction. That is fucking tits. I said tits a lot tonight. I got tits on the mind. I don't know why. Maybe I need to go jerk off or something. But to me, tits means good. It's the same thing as saying awesome. So we appreciate you. It goes a long way, not only for our morale, but also in making the site, making the podcast more relevant within the internet space. So, you know, today I shared a video. You can now go on iTunes and literally just search Star Wars in the podcast, and we will show the fuck up. That is a huge milestone. But with your help, we can get better. We can not only show up, we can start showing up above the fold, meaning you're not going to have to scroll to find us. We're going to show up right up at the top. So keep at it, people. Keep listening, downloading, liking, sharing, commenting. Even if it's hate, we want that because we can take that hate and reevaluate. I'm also a rapper. You guys didn't know that. You got to catch my first album. It's coming out soon. But please, in all seriousness, we do appreciate your listening. We do appreciate you following, commenting, subscribing, sharing, loving, even hating. Again, we just want recognition. We just want feedback. Give it to us. Let us know what you think, people. But in the meantime, please, StarWarsTime.net. Get used to it. StarWarsTime.net. You can even make a jingle out of it. Kind of flows, rolls off the tongue. But if you go there, you can get the content we put up. You can get quick access to the podcast, old podcasts, new podcasts, subscribe links to YouTube. We got it all. Please, people, give us a chance. Come along for the ride. Come talk for over 2 hours into the wee hours of the morning with us. That's why we do what we do. Because there's always time for Star Wars time. May the Force be with you. Always.